From our pits, Dana's Desserts. Her fudge is awesome.
Thompson Speedway, they have the best breakfast sandwich. It's really good.
The Hawaiian burger at Peterborough, it's delicious. It's got pineapple on it.
Martinsville hot dog.
Peterborough Speedway French fries.
Peterborough's fries.
We'll go with the Flamburger.
Gotta say Flamboro.
Probably a Flamburger.
A Flamburger.
A Flamboro.
Flamboro Speedway and their Flamburgers. Too good.
It's round number 2 of the APC United Racing Series, and it brings us, Jamie Maudsley, to Flamboro Speedway. I'm Adam Ross. Of course, Jamie's with us tonight. Clinton Jeffrey's going to join us a little bit later on, but whenever we come to Flamboro Speedway, Jamie, it's one of two ways. It's Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. We can have a clean race of 100 laps, or we could have a little bit of carnage. What are we going to see tonight?
I hopefully, you don't usually see anything right in the middle. I think you're going to see an exciting race. Of course, race number 1 at Sunset was tremendous. This London Recreational Racing 100. You've got a lot of former track champs at Flamboro Speedway here. Dale Shaw, J.R. Fitzpatrick, Shea Gemmel won the Triple Crown last year. Of course, Fitzpatrick's a multi-time winner here. Also got Rick Spencer-Walt. We'll see how him and Danny Benedict, who were the Sunset Hot Shoes, do coming to a different track here tonight. I mean, the storylines are endless as we get going.
Add to that, the Quick Superstock Series opens up this evening. Great field of cars in that division as well, and I love this racetrack for those cars. Of course, a similar cast of characters to what we had last year, but I want to focus on a few drivers. Lane Zardo, Garrett Teemersma, a couple of youngsters. We also got Jason Parker and Pete Vanderwees, a couple of seasoned veterans, and I love you throw them all together, and it really makes some dynamic action.
It's almost like the old school NASCAR truck series where you had the Ted Musgrave still hanging on and the Kurt Bushes coming up. You've got the young guys, the Carson Nagys, and like you said, Parker and Vander was showing them the ropes. One guy I think you're going to have to watch tonight is Ryan Dyson. I mean, they've been working hard on that car, been running to LA Delaware. We'll see how he does this evening as well.
Let's check in with Clinton Jeffrey. He's been on the scene talking to some drivers. He's got one right now.
We're here with Ryan Dyson. Ryan, back at Flamboro, you're comfortable with Delaware, but you really got to try and put them together like you did at other places in the past. How do you feel about this place?
Now the practice is done, I feel pretty good. I think we ended up third fastest in practice, which coming here today, I felt pretty optimistic. Last year we had our troubles every time we left Delaware, like you said. So, we came here the day after a crash from Delaware last year, so we didn't really have much to go back. We have no notes to go back on. But I'm feeling pretty optimistic, and I guess our practice week kind of showed that we were prepared today, so that's always good.
Now, to get you for this interview, we had to pull you out from the left front side of your car. The crew's all huddled there right now. What's the story over there? Anything you need to worry about?
No, just a little collar that goes on the sway bar. Just kind of popped off there at the end of practice, so we're just going to get a new one put on, and should all be good.
All right, guys, we'll watch for Ryan Dyson to get it done here tonight.
Thanks, Clinton Jeffrey. And of course, if you stand here in the pits with a microphone, some of the drivers like that a little bit more than others. Some kind of walk away from the mic, some walk to it. And I got to tell you, I was happy for this driver in the opening round because Lady Luck, you found her.
Well, we found a little bit of it, I guess. Adam, we started real deep in the field, but the Mobil 1 Chevrolet was really good. MRE had us really dialed in, and the car was excellent. But I got to tell you, I came here to talk to you, not just talk to everybody else.
For something specific? Like if I got something in my teeth?
No, you're just looking good today, buddy.
You see, Danny Benedict, he can stick around. We love that stuff. That's what, I'm so excited about covering this series, Jamie, because we really are starting to see the personalities of these drivers come out. It's more than just driving in circles. Every one of these drivers is a unique personality, and we get to see that week in and week out.
Yeah, definitely. And Benedict's an interesting one, obviously. He struggled a couple years ago. I remember during the pandemic, he had that whole season where it seemed like he rode a car off every week. But I'm telling you what, he's got his stuff together now. Lady Luck has been shining on him, and you saw just what he could do at Sunset.
Let's take a break. When we come back, we're going to see action from Flamboro Speedway.
Early man discovered fire, but Quick Wick perfected fire. Quick Wick is the only fire starter that guarantees to start your campfire, wood stove, or fireplace without the need for kindling or paper. Find your nearest Quick Wick retailer at quickwick.com.
I've always had the spirit that I wanted to invent something new. And so when we got into clothing, I got immersed into it. And the only way that you really understand how to build clothing is to become a pattern maker. That pattern maker concept started becoming very interesting to me because I went, I can make this better. Love it. Absolutely love designing. Doesn't matter whether it's a garment or an engine or a car, decals on our race cars. I love doing it. That's my forte.
Welcome back to Flamboro Speedway. It's quick super stock qualifying time on the track right now. We're going to find from Acton, the Stewart's Equipment Chevrolet number 56 of Brandon McFerrin. From Busslin to the Shaw Motorsports Chevrolet number 27 of Steve Cashmore. The 31 Chevrolet, Corcoran Contracting, the sponsor on that one. From Erin, Ontario, it's Chad Corcoran. The London Recreational Racing number 13 Chevrolet from Cambridge is Justin Collison. And out of Mitchell, the APC Auto Parts Centers number 07 is Nick Ramsey. They've just taken the white flag for their qualifying group, and man, these drivers are bunched closely together, just a few thousandths of a second between them. Steve Cashmore with the fastest lap so far, and the checkered flag about to fly. Got a little bit of curious things happening with timing and scoring right now, but it looks like Brandon McFerrin with the quickest lap of 16.687. Steve Cashmore is showing up twice on the charts with two different sets of times. So we'll get to the bottom of that. Justin Collison, Nick Ramsey is not showing up in our timing pylon. Let's make sure we're turned on there, Jamie Maudsley.
I'd take the best one if I were Cashmore.
Right? Multiple choice. I love multiple choice.
So we'll see which one is actually Nick Ramsey, which one is Cashmore.
16.68.
Good to see Brendan McFerrin out. He hasn't raced, hasn't done a lot of touring in the last few years. And got to piece together to race the series this year. Excited to see him out.
16.530 is the track record. It's held by Lane Zardo. I think we're going to see that shattered here today. Group number 2, Group B. Number 71 out of Durham, Ontario, the Caldecott Millwright Services Chevrolet. Number 71 is Corey McAllister. Out of Mount Hope comes the Queenston Chevrolet Buick GMC Fielding Estate Winery. Number 93 of Carson Nagy. Out of Hamilton comes the 73 Alexander Glass and Door sponsored Chevrolet of Nick Troback. From Paisley, it's the number 8 Chevrolet of Jason Parker. And rounding out this group out of Cambridge, no stranger to Flamboro Speedway, driving the number 72 Chevy, Randy Rustnell.
73 of Troback, he's done a few tours down Delaware Speedway way the last few weeks, getting his feet wet running down there on Friday nights. It was great to see the 8 of Parker back out. Randy Rustnell, haven't seen him race in a few years. Good to see him out as well. And Carson Nagy really struggling. They had a whole bunch of hands on that 93 today, trying to get a handle on it, which is odd considering Carson ran here full time back in 2021. Great drone shot. There's Troback working down the backstretch into turn 3. Nick Troback in that 73 again. He's been getting some action in at Delaware Speedway the last few weeks and looking good doing it.
Carson Nagy battling a loose condition right now in the corners. Jason Parker looking nice and smooth. We've got a few drivers with a lot of laps here. Carson Nagy being one of them, Randy Rustnell being the other. Carson Nagy to the top of the board with a 16.6, and then Nick Troback beats him by a couple 100ths of a second. Randy Rustnell jumps up into third.
Seems like the third lap is the best for most drivers. Second or third lap, we'll see if Troback or Nagy can go even quicker.
And what happens? The tires come up to an optimal temperature. So you start off with a bit lower air pressure. They build up to the right pressure, the right temperature. That's perfect. And then they fall off. They plateau and then they fall off.
Troback with that 603. The 10 cars that have taken times. Well, McAllister now up the chart.
Yeah, he saved his best for last. McAllister up to third.
Carson Nagy just went to number 1.
16.592. The first driver to dip into the .5s is Carson Nagy in that 93. Nick Troback second in the 73. The 71 of Corey McAllister third. The 8 of Jason Parker fourth. And the 72 of Randy Rusnell fifth. Rusnell might be fifth on the chart, but he is number 1 for being the absolute closest to the outside wall. Did you see how close he was running the wall down the front stretch?
He was using all of it. Again, Nagy about half a tenth off the track record, so you could see it fall as the faster cars continue to come up.
And any one of these next two groups could do it. We are going to see the popular driver from Plattsville, Ontario. The London Recreational Racing Mannheim Apex Oil Chevrolet number 89C of Sean Chenoweth. The 17 out of Stouffville. The Way Freight Services 905 Customs Linex Newmarket Ford number 17 is Garrett Teemersman. The 33, it's a Ford out of Southampton, the Bester Forest Products sponsored entry. That's Roy Wilkie. And fourth in this group, the final car out from Otterville. The Spark Power Castrol Edge APC Auto Parts Center Chevrolet, that's Rick Verburn in the 88.
Verburn's been out once this year at Delaware Speedway. He was out for our 50-lapper last Friday night. Struggled though. We'll see if he can find a handle on Flamboro here this evening. Of course, watch that 89C Sean Chenoweth. 17 of Tamirs, but he is your track record holder. So check that Zardo holds the record.
Yeah, I thought it was Zardo, but
Tamirsma was the winner here last year.
But I looked at it 5 minutes ago, so anything is in those 5 minutes. My memory could turn that into just about anything.
Here's with the Sunset car, one of your championship contenders for sure. There's Chenoweth hustling down the backstretch of the London Recreational Racing Machine on London Recreational Racing Night here at Flamboro Speedway. Roy Wilkie in the 33.
Sean Chenoweth always brings a pretty race car to the track.
Definitely, I always love those wraps.
It's one thing to be fast, it's another thing to look fast.
He does both. I mean, I'd rather take the being fast than looking fast if you had to choose one, but he's done both in that 89C.
1/100th of a second off the track record. Sean Chenoweth with a quick time of 16.543. Rick Verburn with a 16.539 goes to the top. Can Chenoweth beat it? No, he goes a little bit slower that lap.
Rick Verburn less than 100th off that track record. We'll see if he finds some more speed in that Spark Power machine here on his next lap.
Slowed down there on that lap at the stripe. The white flag in the air, Sean Chenoweth. And we're talking about hundredths of a second. But Chenoweth unable to back up his time. Garrett Teemersma, 16.531, missing that track record by 1/1000th of a second.
I see Roy Wilkie in the 33. Sitting fourth right now. Second lap was the best for that 33.
New fast time and a Flamboro Speedway track record to the driver of the Way Freight number 17, Garrett Teemersma, 16.432. How about this if you're Rick Verburn? Congratulations, you beat the track record, but you are not at the top of the list.
Three cars dipping underneath the track record there in that group. Roy Wilkie joining Verburn and Tamirsma.
Everything you can hope for in a racing series is basically, Jamie, parity. Parity between a Chevrolet and a Ford, parity among race teams. It adds an unpredictability. Who's going to win on a given night? We're looking at a field separated, like the top 6 are separated by less than 0.2 seconds of it. 0.2 seconds. 0.2 of a second.
Even Cashmore, 13th of the 14 cars that have taken times. A little over 0.2 of a second off the pace of your pole sitter.
And all these 4 drivers were faster in practice this afternoon. The number 7 out of St. Thomas, the VP Specialized Carriers. Pro Waste Solutions Chevrolet number 7 is Pete Vanderweest. The 36, it's a Ford, sponsored by Bester Forest Products. Leslie Ford, Shelby Roofing and Sheet Metal. Out of Walkerton, it's Lane Zardo in the 36. Car number 1 from Elsa Craig. The Inventory Express Lubricants, Carter Trucking, Lux Home, Ahmed Wakas, number 1 of Trevor Culver. And the final car to take time in this group, it's a Chevrolet, the Douglas Windows and Doors, APC Auto Parts Centers, Doc Stater Property Maintenance sponsored entry from Elmer. The 28 is Ryan Dyson.
So some quick cars here out on the clock. Our two main championship combatants from last year, Trevor Culver, and there's that 36, your champion from 2021, Lane Zardo. He was the former track record holder. There's Pete Vanderwist, quickest car in practice earlier today.
How about Lane Zardo's first lap was under the track record? New fast time is 16.395 for the Thrillbilly Lane Zardo.
Culver us up to third quick of this group. So Vanderwist can find some speed.
He's struggling right now. He's 7th on the chart at the moment as Pete Vanderwist, who is the fastest car in practice.
Zardo just went quicker, ran a 16.307.
He is using all the racetrack here at Flamboro Speedway. Now a 16.287. Ryan Dyson up to third, knocks Trevor Culver back to fourth. Pete Vanderwist is down in the 8th spot as the checkered flag flies, and Vanderwist, he's going to stay down there in the 8th position. Culver goes a little bit quicker on his final lap, but still only good enough for fourth. Ladies and gentlemen, the Quick Super Stock qualifying is complete. And look at that scoreboard. Look at how tight those times are. Lane Zardo with a quick time and a new track record of 16.287 seconds. The top 6 drivers all below the track record.
So those are some of the drivers you're going to see in the top 10 redraw. I guess it's not really a redraw anymore. It was a redraw for race 1.
Oh, this will be a redraw.
This will be a redraw, yeah, because it is race 1 for the Quick series.
So because this is opening day for Quick, they will go to a redraw format for the top 10.
I believe it's just top 5 on the redraw for opening day.
Okay,
Yeah.
right on. And for APC, they should be into their handicap system. So the top 10 after time trials will line up in an inversion of their point standings, the exception being anyone who didn't race in round 1 at Sunset Speedway will be at the back of that top 10. I think the only driver here, because I'm sure I'm wrong, is Matt Box, who didn't compete in round 1.
So therefore the best he could start is 10th for our feature a little later on tonight. You see the officials getting ready to wave those late models out. Won't be too much longer before the APC United Late Model Series hits to the track.
I believe that's the next generation of Hambly. Trevor Hambly's son there with the stop and go sign. On the schedule, which I often don't look at, Jamie, because we just call what's out there. It is 5:50. We expect at 6 o'clock the APC Series cars to come out and do their part for qualifying here this afternoon. Let's talk about earlier on in practice. They had a couple different sets of practice, and then what they do is they combine the best lap. So no matter when you turn to your best lap, only your best lap counts from any of the sessions. J.R. Fitzpatrick was the quickest, a 15.165. That's 0.3 of a second slower than the track record. Andrew Grezel was second quick. That's exciting to me. Andrew Grezel is a elbows up driver, doesn't put up with any guff. I like it when he's fast. Kyle Steckley was third quick, Dale Shaw fourth, and Danny Benedict rounded out the top 5 in practice. We've got 21. I thought we had 22 cars here, so I don't know if there was a car that didn't register in practice, but we're only showing 21 times.
And some big stories, obviously. Billy Schwarzenberg, 6th quick. He's a former winner here back in 2019. So he knows how to get it done here at Flamboro Speedway. And, of course, Kyle Steckley, who you mentioned was third quick. He had some action last night. He was racing at Delaware Speedway, getting his car ready to go for July 1st. Again, that 6th place practice run, Billy the Kid Sportsenberg. We're going to feature on Billy.
It's been a challenge since the start of the day, to be honest. Just remembering, going through all the routine and getting everything together, getting everyone on the same page. I'm sure it's going to be a struggle this year.
And the good thing was Schwarzenberg, of course, used Sunset Speedway to shake off a little bit of that rust. This was the date they had marked on the calendar, right? The return to Flamboro Speedway for that Spyro Motorsports team. They know this is where they expect to perform at a high level. Not that they don't expect to perform at a high level everywhere they go. And I'm going to put you on the spot here. Clinton Jeffrey, I know he's been running around doing different technical projects. I wasn't sure how early we can count on him to be chasing down stories, but feel free to cue up your microphone if you're anywhere where you can talk to us.
I'm here, bud.
Nice. What's going on?
It is a beautiful day here at Flamboro Speedway. Nice little breeze. We are ready to go. I mean, how cool is it to be back here at Flamboro, a place that we have grown to love on the G-Force crew? Adam, you've always been a homer here for Flamboro.
I love Flamboro Speedway. You know, if you can, as a driver, if you can excel here at Flamboro Speedway, you can excel just about anywhere. This, Jamie Maudsley, is a tight racetrack. It's a narrow racetrack, but it's pretty technical. You've got to be able to hold a pretty wheel and have some finesse, but you've also got to be able to get up there and wrestle when you have to.
It's got a little bit of everything, you know. And we could see cars climbing the wall and upside down here tonight. You know, we could very easily see this APC United late model feature rip off with, you know, 2 minor cautions, like we said in the opening, kind of anywhere in between. All I know, though, the most important thing was I have had my Flamburger. I'm totally rehydrated, and I think we're ready to go here tonight. But it is a tough place to get around. But, again, we've got a lot of guys near the top of the board who have excelled here. The Dale Shaws, J.R. Fitzpatrick's. Chenoweth has a number of championships here. Shea Gemmell, well, he cut his teeth at Delaware. There was a lot of Saturday nights they were coming down the road here to Flamboro Speedway to get him experience when he first got into a late model. So just absolutely thrilling here tonight. We got a great field of cars. And, you know, like you were saying earlier tonight, you go to a lot of places and you go, hey, we got 8 or 10 guys that could win. When you look at this series, you go, maybe there's only 2 or 3 guys that can't win.
Let's look at the bottom 3. Let's make an example out of this. The bottom 3. James Horner, he's a little shy of half a second off the pace. And I think he still needs to prove himself, but he's looking better and better all the time. The next 2, Jade Franklin, 20th out of 21. He's a former Frosttoberfest winner here a couple of years ago. And 21st quick out of the 21 drivers. The bully, Dwayne Baker, the very first winner in the APC series. So to your point, Jamie, anybody in this field can win. The super stock's probably close to it. There's probably a dozen drivers that can win. One of the drivers that we've been following all winter long because he's been posting vlogs on G-Force TV is Garrett Teemersma. So we'll get to that Teemersma feature a little bit later. I thought we queued it up and we're ready to knock it right out of the ballpark. Let's go now.
You know what? That rivalry was probably the best thing that ever happened to me. I have come out way better on and off the track because of it. And all I remember was that every single week when I went home, I was thinking about one car, and I was thinking about why I didn't beat that car. And whenever we were working in the garage trying to make our car better throughout this entire vlog series this year, we've been thinking we want to beat this one car because I know that's the only car that could beat me out there.
Was he talking about Lane Zardo?
I think he was talking about Lane Zardo.
But he said the one car. It could have been Trevor Culver.
Could be. But there is a natural rivalry there. A couple of young drivers. Garrett, second-generation talent. Zardo, third-generation talent. But they're both a lot of fun to watch. They're lions out there on the racetrack. And we talked about in the intro, There's a lot of young talent in the Super Stocks, and then we got a couple of old guard. You know, you got Pete Vanderwees, you got Jason Parker, and they're not going to be pushed around.
Once Jamie Cox gets his car done as well. So, yeah, it is definitely a division with a lot of diversity. South Track Cochran here this evening, getting ready to go as well. Good to see him out here tonight. Long-time Flamboro regular, but good field of cars. I think qualifying said it all. I mean, they were so close. And the competition level last year, it came down to the final lap on the final race between Zardo and Culver for who won the championship. And I remember at the end of that night at Delaware, they took that entire motor apart. They gave it back to the Kenny Grubb team in pieces. And all Lane Zardo said when he walked out of Tech Lane was, I can't say anything about this championship.
That's right. It's vindication because Lane Zardo, when you are fast, inevitably someone is going to accuse you of getting an unfair advantage somehow. So you want that technical inspection. They're going to go through things in the winter anyhow. Just save them the process of having to tear things apart. Tech did it for them. They came out of the room of doom successfully, and life is good. I want to talk about something that happened here the last time I came to Flamboro Speedway. A number of APC Series teams chose to come here last Saturday and race. J.R. Fitzpatrick won both of those features. He started 12th in the first feature. These are short races, I think 35 laps, maybe 40 laps. He carved through the field, barely a mark on the car, Jamie.
Again, this is the place he cut his teeth at. This is where he started racing a late model. When he first started racing a pro late model, even he was super stock before that. So JR definitely knows how to get around this place. They're from about half an hour down the road. So this is the place they come to shake everything down. He knows how to get around this place and definitely going to be one of those ones to watch. 2 career victories on tour here at Flamboro Speedway for the driver of that 84 Cambridge Racing Equipment Express machine.
The other driver who really impressed me last week was Josh Stoddy. Made a lot of passes out there, worked his way towards the front, battled with J.R. Fitzpatrick. He finished second in one feature, and I actually can't remember the other event. And we should say, while we have the opportunity, speaking of how they did and how they performed, we're going to be joined by the voice of Flamboro Speedway, Kevin Small, a little bit later in the program. A new announcer here this season. In fact, let's be joined. No, we're about to go qualifying. So, Kevin, right afterwards, we'll bring you in and have a chat. But it's always good to have new talent around, Jamie. Group qualifying coming onto the Speedway now. The Graham Family Auto Car Quest Gingrich Service Center. Tom Gibbons Concrete finishing Chevrolet. Number 10 out of Southampton is Tom Gibbons. The BW Towing McMaster GMC Orangeville BBTS Markdale. The number 8 from Hillsburg is Jordan House. The 79, he's from Fraserville. The Custom Forming Walls Bondsma Brother Concrete Pumping Chevrolet. It's James Horner in the 79. Then it's the Bully from Stainer. The B&B Towing Nisco National Leasing 48 of Dwayne Baker. And rounding out the field from Coldwater, the CM Precision Machining and Welding. Number 31 is Jade Franklin.
Green's out, Gibbons' first one on the clock. Jordan House, a winner on tour last year. His win came at Sunset Speedway. Not sure if Jordan's a champion here, but I know his dad's won multiple championships here at Flamboro Speedway. There's Dwayne Baker, winner of our inaugural race, Sunset Speedway back in 2015.
Time sure does fly, Jamie.
Seems like just yesterday. There's Horner.
We talked about James Horner a minute ago being maybe one of the few drivers we don't see as a threat to win. But I would also say James Horner is probably the most improved program in the series.
And again, it's not just about being that threat to win. You got to be a threat to be in the top 10 first, you know. And we'll see if that program on the 79 can get to that level this year as they work along.
These are tough races to finish. White flag is out, and so far it's Tom Gibbons at the top of the heap. A 15.236 leads the way. About half a second off almost the track record that's held by Brandon Watson, set back in 2018.
I don't think you're going to see anybody touch it. We didn't see anybody within 0.3 of a second of that record in practice earlier, and there's a pretty good reason why it stood since 2018. Set on a nice brisk night here at Flamboro Speedway.
You're absolutely right. So Tom Gibbons atop the chart. Jordan House in the number 8 is second. The 31, Jade Franklin third. 79, James Horner fourth. And fifth, the 48, is Dwayne Baker. Group B, the first drivers from Norwood. The SMG Motorsports GTA Racing Designs Flathead Design Chevrolet, number 29, Flying Ryan Kimball. Our opening round winner from Sunset Speedway out of Oro Medonte. The Caldecott Millwright Services Chevrolet, number 31W, it's Rick Spencer Walt. The 21 comes from London. He was optimistic coming into this weekend's race. He thinks he can be a threat to win. In his global warranty, ToyotaTown.com Toyota, number 21 is Matt Pritico. The 27 comes from Carlisle. It's the Transport Trailer Sales Glider Tarp System Specialized Recycling Chevrolet, number 27 of Matt Box. And the 74, he's from Dundas, the SDR Seating. Stage it with style, Nick's Journey 74 of Eric Della Riva.
You see last event's feature winner, Rick Spencer Walt, in that 31W. He actually made a trip down to Delaware a week Friday for their regular program, trying to get some experience at the half mile. There's a guy in the 29 of Flying Ryan Kimball. Their team struggled mightily at Sunset. We'll see if they've found some speed here tonight. And of course, the global warranty entry of Pritico. Pritico already up to third quick.
Jordan House up to the second spot. Rick Spencer Walt sits in fourth for the time being. Kimball up to third. New fast time. It's Rick Spencer Walt in the 31. Can he hold on to it? A 15.119.
Yeah, not even close to the track record here tonight. Kimball goes quicker. Then Spencer Walt goes quicker. A 15.055 for Spencer Walt. And to a 0.79 for Kimball. Pritico's third. Now Della Riva up to fourth. Gibbons bumped down to fifth.
Some smoke out of the 27 of Matt Box, but I think he might have locked up that left front tire going down into the turn. Rick Spencer Walt with the quickest lap of 15.055. Matt Pritico second with a 15.064. Third, he just turned it on that final lap of 15.076. So the top three are separated by 2/100ths of a second is Eric Della Riva, and then it's Ryan Kimball in the 29 and the 10 of Tom Gibbons. Group C, ladies and gentlemen, the first car to roll out from Cambridge, the JP Powder Coating. Vincent Lawn Equipment, number 97, Blair Wickett, the Polar Blair. Number 54 from Orno, the Mobile One, B&W Enterprises Chevrolet. Number 54 is Danny Benedict. Car number 86 from Guelph, the Spira Fire Protection. High-grade steel roofing systems, 86 is Billy Schwarzenberg. And last on the racetrack in that beautiful-looking ridge line, Canadian Flat Roof Systems, APC Bruce Service Toyota from Chesley, number 17, Josh Stoddy.
See Wickett getting up to speed. He was the first one to take the green in that 97 machine. Green's out for Benedict. We'll see what he can do. And he was a big story at Sunset Speedway in the opening round race from 16th all the way up into the top 5.
Well, I think he was fastest in practice, wasn't he? And then qualified 16th, so was disappointed with the qualifying effort, but did a beautiful job in the race to charge through the field and wind up with a podium result.
And obviously looking for the pole sitter, but looking to see who can stay inside that top 10 and get one of those top 10 starting spots.
Jade Franklin's on the bubble right now in the number 31. As we see drivers start to jump up through the running, Blair Wickett jumps into the third position. Nobody able to knock down the top two just yet. Danny Benedict up to 7th. Stoddy to P3 puts Blair Wickett down 1 spot. Wickett a little bit slower that lap. Benedict was quicker, but still down in the 7th position. Billy Schwarzenberg knocks him out of that spot. Checkered flag in the air. Blair Wickett will stay in the 4th position unless somebody knocks him down.
Well, Stoddy went to number 1.
Oh, didn't. I missed that entirely.
Knocked Spencer Walt down a peg. Pritico 3rd. Wickett 4th. Eric Della Riva 5th.
Our first driver into the 14-second range with a 14.987. So is there another 1300ths of a second out there for a driver to try to set a new track record here at Flamboro Speedway? There's 2 more groups that could do it, so we might be talking out the wrong end here, Jamie. Maybe someone can set a new record.
Josh Stoddy's got to be pleased with that. He's got a whole bunch of the folks from Ridgeline Lubricants here this evening.
With only 8 more drivers remaining, Josh Stoddy and Rick Spencer Walt are guaranteed to be part of that top 10 inversion. Group D rolls out onto the racetrack. The first car in line, the number 3 from Dorchester, the APC Auto Parts Center, Canusa Automotive Warehousing, Miami Muscle Ford, number 3, it's Shea Gemmel. The 89C looks just like the one we saw earlier, but it's not. From Plattsville, the London Recreational Racing, Mannheim Apex Oil, Caldecott Millwright Services 89C, it's Sean Chenoweth. The 4 comes from Aurelia, the SSG Gloves, Airedale Carriers, Holdaway Motorsports Toyota, number 4 of Connor James. And rounding out this group from Mount Bridges, the Pride Seeds, Vibrant Farms, Cameron Crane Ford, number 52, it's Jake Sheridan.
Sheridan, winner last Friday night, Delaware Speedway's 70-lapper.
You can tell who has confidence in their competition. Connor James has confidence that Sean Chenoweth is going to be fast. That's why he's closer to Chenoweth than anybody else. You either try to find your own space on the racetrack or you try to put a rabbit in front of you to maybe pick up some braking points, some acceleration points, or lines that they choose to run.
Chenoweth's a good one to try to run down here. There's Shea Gemmel, and your Triple Crown champion from Flamboro last year. Usually pretty good at getting around the 3rd mile.
14.855, the track record. 14.987, the fastest lap so far this afternoon, which is Josh Stoddy. We should start to see drivers climbing up into that top 10.
Chenoweth first one into the top 10 at 10th spot.
Chenoweth moves up to 7th with a 15.1. We're waiting for some of the others to knock off a quick time. Jake Sheridan up to the 10th spot. Shea Gemmel knocks him down by climbing into 10th.
Chenoweth up to P2 now.
15.052 for Sean Chenoweth. The 52 of Jake Sheridan, new fast time by 1/1000th of a second.
Epic Raceware pole qualifying. Wrapping up here. One more group after this.
Less than 1/10 of a second off the track record with a 14.950. It's Jake Sheridan. Josh Stoddy remains 2nd. Sean Chenoweth 3rd. Rick Spencer Walt 4th. Matt Pritico 5th. Blair Wickett 6th. Eric Della Riva 7th. Ryan Kimball 8th. Connor James 9th. Billy Schwarzenberg in 10th. So disappointment for Shea Gemmel down in the 12th spot. After that session, our final group rolls onto the racetrack. The beautiful number 84 Cambridge Rigging Transaxle H2Go Mobile Wash Chevrolet. From Cambridge, it's J.R. Fitzpatrick. The 83 from Guelph, the NTN Bearings Wellington System sponsored Chevrolet, it's Dale Shaw. The 81 from Sauble Beach, the Sauble Falls Tent and Trailer Park CUSW Canadian Union of Skilled Workers, Stewart's Equipment sponsored Ford, The 81 is Andrew Gressel. And rounding out this group, the youngster from Milverton, the Quick Wick Firestarter A.W. Millwright Stewart's Equipment Chevrolet number 22, Kyle Steckley.
Again, Steckley, one of those drivers in action last night, Delaware Speedway, for their regular 35-lapper. He was the big story here last summer, making his first APC start. He won the championship here at Flamboro Speedway in their weekly division, but his only APC start here at Flamboro. He was a winner in that maiden voyage. So Kyle Steckley, the second-generation driver, son of Canadian Motorsports Hall of Famer Scott Steckley, able to get it done here at Flamboro. We'll see what he can do here tonight in qualifying. J.R. Fitzpatrick, he's been the man everybody's watching here tonight after those 2 feature wins last Saturday night, and a quick car in practice.
Fitzpatrick with the new relationship with McCall Racing, and that car's looked sporty this season. His second lap, good enough for 9th spot at 15.095. And we watch the scoreboard. Kyle Steckley up to 3rd with a 15.045. Fitzpatrick up to 2nd. He breaks into the 14-second. New fast time, 14.919 for Dale Shaw. These drivers have came to play today.
Steckley just went a little faster on lap 3, but not enough to topple Shaw from the top of the pylon. Sheridan still 3rd, Fitzpatrick 4th, and Gressel now up into 5th.
New fast time, 2 100s off a track record. It's Kyle Steckley with a 14.874. Dale Shaw, he's going to end up with a 14.919 P2 for the moment. Andrew Gressel is 5th by 2 1,000ths of a second. We do not have a new track record.
Track record, it was the 18.855. Kyle Steckley goes 14.857.
2 1,000ths of a second. The good news is he set the pole. He set the fastest time.
He is our Epic Raceware pole sitter here today. Of course, probably won't end up there after the invert, but a good run for Kyle Steckley, coming really close to breaking that track record.
Dale Shaw was second fastest in the 83. J.R. Fitzpatrick in the 84 is 3rd. The 52, Jake Sheridan is 4th. The 81, Andrew Gressel is 5th. 6th through 10th, Josh Stoddy in the 17. Sean Chenoweth in the 89C. The 31W of Rick Spencer-Walt. The 21 of Matt Pritico. And how about this? Blair Wickett, the Polar Blair, rounds out your top 10.
Eric De La Riva chimed in 11th. Flying Ryan Kimball wound up 12th. Connor James home in 13th. Schwarzenberg 14th. And Denny Benedict winds up 15th. Shea Gemmel came home 16th. Tom Gibbons 17th. Matt Bach shows up 18th with Jordan House 19th and Jaden Franklin in 20th. And rounding out your final 2 qualifiers, the 79, James Horner. And the Bully trying to struggle to find some speed. He's about a second off the pace right now. 48 of Dwayne Baker.
So we are 15 minutes from the scheduled start of the opening round of the Quick Superstock Series, set to roll off at 6:30 p.m. Clinton Jeffrey's going to sing some karaoke for us. No, he's not.
I am?
I thought you might chime in singing.
I think the last 2 times you and I actually called a race together, I was singing on the air. I got broke into some last night, and then at the NPS race a few weeks ago, but what a good time it's been. Great to have Jamie with us. It was great to be back on the air with Greg last night at Weekend, and so good to hear you guys again. It feels like summer.
And we have a new friend. I love the fact that we get to make new friends when we travel around. He is new to Flamboro Speedway as the announcer this year. Gary Colling has moved into a different role, and Kevin Small is the new voice of Flamboro Speedway. Kevin, welcome to G-Force TV and welcome to Flamboro Speedway.
Thanks, Adam. I'm very excited to be here with you guys tonight. This is a very big moment for me tonight, and I'm pretty excited to ride along with you guys all throughout the night. So far, been some great practice and qualifying action, and I'm just looking forward to the rest of the night.
It's going to be a lot of fun. You know, you have some really big, tiny shoes to fill with Gary Calling. I think his shoes are about a size 5. I'm not really sure. So literally, you don't have big shoes to fill. But who could match Jamie? Who could match the energy level of a Gary Calling? Quit turning your damn mic off.
First got the chance to meet Gary here at Flamboro Speedway. He'd never been an announcer before. And I was here one of his first events with the Ontario Sportsman Series, and you told me, wait till you meet Gary. Something else. He's never announced before, but just let him do his thing. And oh my God, just absolutely hilarious. He does nothing but have fun from the time he gets here till the time he leaves. Obviously a big proponent, a big helper with the CART program, which is where all our future drivers are coming from, Adam. You can see, if you're new to Flamboro Speedway, the road course through the infield, this is all courtesy of the Waterloo Regional Kart Club. This is where they race on Saturday mornings. And again, our future Saturday night racers get their feet wet here at Flamboro Speedway on Saturday mornings, and Gary Collins is a big part of that.
And I'm going to tell you, John Caselli, the owner of Flamboro Speedway, is not known as the friendliest, most jovial of people. He is. He's got a huge heart. But when the Waterloo Kart Club started racing here and these young racers started showing up every weekend, I saw a big change in John Caselli. He's just been a happier person, rides that golf cart all around, checking things out. It's been great to see. Kevin, how has the welcome been for you?
It's been really good. I mean, Gary and John kind of opened their arms, and so far it's been great. We're 5 weeks in here now. Racing's been awesome. Feedback from everybody. I mean, like you said earlier, Gary's shoes were really tough to fill, but so far it's been really good, and we're looking forward to a fantastic rest of the season here at Flamboro Speedway.
Well, one thing I don't think you're going to do is out-wacky him, though.
Don't try to out-wacky Gary Calling. But while we have a moment, let's have a look at the upcoming events calendar for here at Flamboro Speedway. The Quick Fire Starter upcoming event schedule on June 5th. That's right, tomorrow. It's the 17th annual Unfinished Nationals Car Show and Swap Meet. June 11th is the Grisdale Triple Crown round number 1 for Pro Late Models. There will also be the Pro Challenge Series, the Canadian Vintage Modifieds, Mini Stocks, Pure Stocks, and Pro 4s. Show starts at 6:30. 6 o'clock, I believe, that week. I believe they're 6 until they change over to 6:30, but check it out online or on the Facebook page. June 18th, the Don Biederman Memorial 75-lapper for super late models, plus the Canadian Vintage Modifieds, Mini Stocks, and Pure Stocks. And then later on in the month of June, June 25th is Meet the Drivers Night. Pro Late Models, Canadian Vintage Modified, Super Stocks, Mini Stocks, and Pure Stocks all on the card for that evening. So that's what's coming up at Flamboro Speedway. But we've got a race coming up. They're about to line up on the front straightaway. I'm going to get this starting lineup prepared, Jamie. If you and Kevin want to chat about all things motorsports, why don't you?
So, Kevin, why don't you bring us up to speed on any big changes been going on here at Flamboro this year? Obviously, you're in the broadcast booth. Tell us about what else has been going on here at the Third Mile.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of transitioned a few different positions. Gary Calling, like you said, kind of took on the general manager role. We've got a new race director. Tim Norris has been filling that seat for us. He's been doing a fantastic job when he's not out winning races on the Ontario Pro Challenge division. Tim has been a fantastic addition. Everyone here has been, we've had a great success so far. And like I said earlier, we're just looking forward to continuing on for the rest of the season here. We got a great race coming up next weekend, June 11th at Grisdale Round 1 Triple Crown. There's a lot of guys that are pumped up about that one. That's always a great feature event for us.
So this is a question that announcers get asked all the time. I don't know if you've got it yet or not, but how'd you get into it, man? How'd you get involved in being a stock car announcer?
Yeah, it kind of came out of nowhere. Gary, like I said, he posted something up on Facebook, kind of took advantage of it, came in here for an interview and kind of went from there. Kind of dipped my feet into the announcing booth. My sister played junior hockey for the Brampton Canadiens, so I kind of did the announcing for them. always been around racing since I was a little kid. We worked on a crew in the Oscar Modified division for a long time, spotting for them. Helped with Gary Clute in the Pinty series a little bit, spotting for those guys. So I've always kind of been around the racing atmosphere. And when this job opened up, this was wanted to jump on it right away and get my feet wet. So here we are.
And of course, the people you meet at the racetrack, you can't ask for better.
Oh, no, for sure. I mean, everyone here, race fans are always the best people. Everyone makes fun of me going up and down the stairs all the time, up to the booth up top. But it's always a fun time, and race fans are always the most friendly people that you're going to find around.
So tell us about those performances last week by J.R. Fitzpatrick, obviously coming from deep in the field from 12th, here in a 35 or 40 lap race at Flamboro Speedway and winning a couple races. He must have his car hooked up.
JR's machine was really hooked up there last week. He sliced through the field in that first feature event. Was able to get around Josh Dottie in that 17 machine in the late goings there on the first feature. That machine could go high, low, cut to the bottom, all different areas of the racetrack. They're going to have a really great race car here for them tonight. And again, like I said, Josh Dottie, he finished second, runner-up there the first race. His car was hooked up too. So I think both of those guys are ones to watch on later tonight for the 100-lap feature event.
Now, added bonus, TQ Midgets on the card here tonight. You got a chance to watch their heat races. What should we watch there?
Yeah, the TQ Midgets, the Quick Wick Can-Am Midgets as now they're called. Last feature winner was the number 11 of David Miller. He won his heat race earlier tonight. That car is definitely one to look out for as well. The number 42 of Daniel Hahn. Hahn is a big sponsor of the Can-Am Midget Series. He won his heat race event as well. So lots of guys to kind of keep an eye on, but those two for sure definitely ones you're going to want to watch for their 25-lap main event later on.
See the Super Stocks, the Quick Wick Super Stocks taking to the grid right now. Roy Wilkie loading are coming out. Again, the top 5 have had a pill draw or are going to have a pill draw. Looks like they've had the pill draw already because they're shuffled. So it looks like, let's see, Trevor Culver on the point maybe. No, one in front of him.
It's a surprise. We can't tell you just yet. Let's take the opportunity to show people what's coming up on G-Force TV, Jamie.
Well, June 18th, we're back for a doubleheader again, the Quick Wick Super Stocks and the APC United Late Models on June 18th from Peterborough Speedway, Canada's toughest third mile. And, of course, some more dirt action from Humberstone Speedway, June 30th. The Pinty's Knights of Thunder 360 Sprint Car Tour, plus the Canadian 358 Modified Tour in action. That's June 30th. At Humberstone Speedway, and then July 1st, the Canadian Sprint Car Nationals at Ohsweken Speedway. Great night of racing on the dirt. And Friday Night Thunder live from Ohsweken Speedway every single Friday night. Heard there was a pretty good show at Ohsweken Speedway last night. So lots of local racing this weekend to take in. If you were lucky to get to Delaware, Ohsweken last night, hopefully you had a good time. I'm glad you're joining us for all the APC action here at Flamboro Speedway this evening. London Recreational 100 coming up soon.
Hey, Jamie, have you ever been on the other side of production? Like, have you ever produced or directed a program?
Not on your life.
Can you imagine the chaos it would create if you left your mic open all night long? So that the announcers could hear like everything that was happening in the background. Like, it's almost like being in the kitchen. Like, I think we're in a Gordon Ramsay program, listening to ingredients get poured into a pot.
I've seen the documentaries from inside the production truck
It'd be
before.
nuts. I couldn't imagine.
We're living it.
They're not taking the hint, though. Close your microphone, for goodness sake. Thank you.
And, of course, I know it's a big moment for you, Adam, coming back here to Flamboro Speedway anytime we get to come back here. I mean, no different than, I'm already geared up for the July 1st doubleheader weekend at Delaware. But, I mean, how cool is it to come back to the Speedway all the time and see friends that you've known for 30 years of doing this?
Well, it's awesome for a number of reasons. To see the old friends in this, but also to come out and race with Connor, myself, our crew chief Rob Twitchett, all running the same Canadian Vintage Modified. It's just been an absolute thrill. Before we meet the starting grid for this Quick Wick Superstock opening round event, let's take a quick break here on G-Force TV.
So who exactly is Fast Eddie? More than just a man, it's the mindset that runs through our blood like oil through an engine. Whether on the track or on the street, Fast Eddie is the spirit that drives us to go fast and keep going. Born in 1949 with no time to look in the rearview mirror. Every story is worth telling, and every piece of Fast Eddie apparel has its own. Celebrate our mindset. This is Fast Eddie. This is combustion culture. FastEddieSpeedwear.com.
On the scene since 1949, Fast Eddie was born with a lead foot and a burning need for speed. His passion for speed and sport has been captured in this authentic collection of vintage themed gear. Created for gearheads, riders, and racers, Fast Eddie truly encompasses the great Canadian racing culture we have from coast to coast. Drive hard, get dirty, and look good doing it. Fast Eddie Speedwear. Get geared up.
Welcome back to Flamboro Speedway, where we are almost set to go with the starting grid. And I have another question for you, Jamie Maudsley. Is Doug Stewart here tonight?
No Doug Stewart tonight.
He's in the starting grid, and I have to figure out who it is.
That's why you get to do the intros right there.
He had someone else's transponder. Like, there was a transponder coming up as Doug Stewart. Is it Nick Ramsey or Brandon McFerrin? No, it's not Brandon McFerrin.
Hey, while you're figuring that out, I owe the guys a quick shout out. I run a road racing team called Left Turn Only Motorsports because it's a bunch of oval track racers who do some iRacing on road courses. And the fellas are watching the broadcast right now. We're competing in the 24-hour Le Mans this weekend. And I did my stint first thing this morning before I headed down the road to Flamboro, but handed it over to the boys. And they told me the car's still alive, in good shape. So Left Turn Only Motorsports boys, keep digging in virtual France right now.
Man, iRacing exploded during the pandemic. It was pretty popular before that, but during the pandemic, it was all we could do. Clinton, Jeffrey, you're watching things get set up down there. I believe once we do the lineups, we're going to have Kevin Small sing the national anthem tonight. Does that work for you?
For me, yes. Heck yeah. Be great to have Kevin sing it.
Well, he said it was either going to be him or you, and I know he's done it this year, and I know you have not done it this year, so I didn't want to put you on the spot down there.
I am not doing it this year. How about that? Let's jump into a cool feature we have. Of course, Quick and Fast Eddie have jumped on with the APC broadcast of our G-Force productions this year, and now we're ready for our Fast Eddie ones to watch, and tonight we've got 4 drivers on the list. Of course, the APC series, we're going to keep our eye on Josh Dottie and J.R. Fitzpatrick here tonight, but we got 2 of the drivers in the Quick Super Stocks to watch. We got Garrett Teemersma and Lane Zardo here. They had a heck of a rivalry last year, guys. They're starting here inside the top 10. Watch for both these drivers to put on a good show tonight. We've got Lane here getting ready to go. He's been really loose and chill. Both these guys seem very calm and cool. So our Fast Eddie 4 drivers to watch tonight from the APC series would be J.R. Fitzpatrick and Josh Dottie here in the Quick Super. It'll be Lane Zardo and Garrett Teemersma. Those are your Fast Eddie 4 to watch here today. Let's jump in and talk to Lane while we got a minute here and see what he's got to say. Defending Quick Super Stock champ. Lane, you know, you've been running Flamboro a lot lately. How do you feel tonight?
Yeah, man, I actually started racing here. Like, when I was 12 years old, I got my arm out of a cast, and 2 weeks later, I was running a mini stock here. My grandfather, my father, you know, my whole family pitched in, and we had a pretty good run here for 2 years in a mini stock. We ran super stocks here, you know, about 10 years ago, and damn, I'm actually getting pretty old. I ain't a young gun anymore. But we do feel pretty good, and I don't know, we pulled down a fast lap. We're restarting on the inside, so hopefully we can keep it clean, keep the fenders on, and keep the tires on it.
You know, Lane, last week you got to go to the Canadian Motorsport Hall of Fame and induct your grandfather. What does that mean to you?
Oh, it was pretty cool. I saw you there, actually. Yeah, it was pretty cool. A lot of familiar faces. Got to see a lot of great people being inducted. Alex Nagy, Glenn Stiers, and, of course, my grandfather, Bill Zardo. Had a nice little speech written up for him. Unfortunately, we were running out of time there, but, you know, it's just such an honor, and I got to stand up there beside him. And, you know, me and him, if you listen to me and my grandfather talk, yeah, some of it would kind of come across as disrespectful, but me and my grandfather were best friends, and we have the greatest relationship, even though we say like the worst things to each other. But it's always funny being around him, and just being around him, you know, it's surreal.
Good luck tonight, Lane.
Thank you very much. Thank you everybody for being here. Thank you London Recreational, Quick, and APC Series. I can't express how much I appreciate all you guys being here.
Good to see Lane here, and yeah, it was the relationship between Lane and his grandfather is pretty straightforward. Let's jump here and talk to Garrett T. Garrett, you know, you had a rivalry with Lane. We talked about it here in the early part of this broadcast. You're comfortable here at Flamboro. Do you feel good tonight?
You know what? I'm feeling pretty good. The car was really quick in qualifying, really quick in practice. Yeah, we definitely have had some run-ins with the 36, but that's only because we're both so competitive and we both want to win really bad. We're feeling pretty good tonight about Flamboro. I hope we can put a good show on for everybody here. And I just want to say thank you everybody for coming out. Enjoy your time.
There you have it. Garrett Teemersma going to go off from position number 4 today, guys.
Yeah, let's meet the starting lineup, Clinton, for the opening round. 50 laps in the quick super stocks. Starting on the outside of row number 9 from Cambridge, the London Recreational Racing Chevrolet number 13C, it's Justin Collison. Starting 17th from Puslinch, the Shaw Motorsports A&A Discount Auto Parts Chevrolet number 27 of Steve Cashmore. Starting 16th from Mitchell, the APC Auto Parts Center's Mitchell Cycle Robson Scrap Metal Chevrolet number 07, Nick Ramsey. Starting 15th from Aaron, the Corcoran Contracting Quick Dip Pools Freedom Village of Canada Chevrolet number 31, Chad Corcoran. Starting 14th from Acton, the Stewart's Equipment NRD Byproducts Chevrolet number 56S, Brandon McFerrin. Starting 13th from Cambridge, the Bunzel Chevrolet number 72, it's Randy Rusnell. To the next row we go. Row number 6 on the outside from Paisley. Driving the number 8, Jason Parker. Starting 11th from Durham, the Caldecott Millwright Services, CM Precision Machining and Welding, Struck Energy Systems Chevrolet number 71, Corey McAllister. Now, race fans, your top 10. Starting 10th from Hamilton, the Alexander Glass and Door Chevrolet number 73, Nick Troback. Starting 9th from Mount Hope, the Queenston Chevrolet Buick GMC Fielding Estate Winery Pure Energy Dance Studio number 93, Carson Nagy. Starting 8th in the VP Specialized Carriers Pro Waste Solutions Yarmouth Group number 7 from St. Thomas, Pete Vanderweest. Starting 7th from Plattsville, the London Recreational Racing Mannheim Apex Oil Caldecott Millwright Services Chevrolet number 89C, Sean Chenoweth. Starting 6th from Southampton, the Bester Forest Products Ford number 33, Roy Wilkie. Starting 5th from Walkerton, the Bester Forest Products Leslie Ford Shelby Roofing and Sheet Metal Ford number 36, Lane Zardo. Starting 4th in the Way Freight Services 905 Customs Line X Newmarket Ford from Stouffville, the number 17, Garrett Teemersma. Starting 3rd from Elsa Craig, the Inventory Express Lubricants Carter Trucking Lux Homes Ahmed Waka Chevrolet number 1, Trevor Culver.
I got him here, Adam. Trevor, you know, how do you feel about Flamboro? Is it a place you feel you can get around tonight?
We've had a lot of ups and downs running here. Last time was a down, so everything that goes down must come back up. So we're coming back up tonight. We're going to the front.
Positive mental attitude here in car number 1, Adam.
Now, race fans, to your front row. Starting second from Aylmer, the Douglas Windows and Doors, APC Auto Parts Center's Dockstader Property Maintenance Chevrolet, number 28, Ryan Dyson. And on the pole from Otterville, the Spark Power Castrol Edge, APC Auto Parts Center Chevrolet, number 88, Rick Verburn.
I got him here. Rick, how do you feel? Is this place you can get it done tonight?
Yeah, absolutely. We started in this position before and had a good car and run to a podium finish. So we'll see if we can get one more spot and put her in victory lane.
Good luck tonight, Rick. Adam, there's your starting lineup as we get set to go.
Well, race fans, before we get things started, we ask you all to please rise and remove your hats. So we got new Flamboro Speedway PA announcer Kevin Small to sing the national anthem.
O Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us commend. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Thank you, Kevin. Race fans, are you ready to go racing? It's quick super stock time. Let's hear you at Flamboro. Make some noise on a beautiful Saturday night. We need your help now. It's time to go. 3, 2, 1. Drivers, start your engines.
And just like that, Jamie Maudsley, it is time to go racing. Great looking crowd assembled here at Flamboro Speedway in these enormous grandstands. The backstretch stands are full. They're lined up around the fences at both ends. Mother Nature.
Perfect night for it. Not too hot.
You know, in hockey, players get assists. You know who scores the goals, but it's important to get the assist. Mother Nature is required to assist in all of these big events. She plays such a big part. And John and Frank Casale, they got a great day today to host a motor car race.
Great field of cars here. Again, some super-looking super stocks. Great field of late models coming up later. And, of course, the TQ midgets filling in between. Always a good night here at Flamboro Speedway. Got that Flamburger early.
It was tasty.
Poutine chaser, I believe, right? Was that the call tonight?
Well, it was like late breakfast, lunch, and supper. So don't judge me, Jamie Maudsley.
Get your money's worth.
Great looking field of cars. I mean, these are showpieces. Almost each and every one of them. You know you've got good looking cars when even the ugly ones are pretty nice.
And again, I know we've spoken about this before, but it's worth pointing out again what a great job at the hands of APC that had a lot to do with it, of getting the division lined up within the province. We've got cars from Sunset, we've got cars from Delaware, we got cars from Flamboro. I don't know if we got any Peterborough cars out there tonight, but they'll be along shortly, I'm sure. And again, it's great that you can get These guys who can compete on a Friday night at Delaware, a regular Saturday at Flamboro, haul on up to Sunset for a special, all with the same race car. So great that the Superstock program has taken this approach. Great that you can run these cars pretty much a bunch of different spots. And they all get together 5 times a year to do this as part of the Quick Wix series.
It always feels special to travel as a series, and really, Delaware Speedway, I would say, is the only track in the province right now. As folks give these drivers a wave, they're waving back to you down the front straightaway. Salute them as they're about to do battle for 50 laps. None of the tracks outside of Delaware are really knocking it out of the ballpark with car counts. And Superstock racing is really entertaining. So the fact that we do have this series for a few times a year, I think only once. I don't think they visit any racetrack twice, do they?
Just, I believe, 2 at Delaware.
There is 2 at Delaware
two at
this year because Peterborough's not hosting. They're hosting APC.
Peterborough's got one. Look at the schedule.
I like to guess at things and rely on my very weak memory. It gives me something to talk about because people have to correct me. It's like a time filler.
QuickWixSuperstop.com.
And watching you leaf through that program is equally as exciting.
So we've got one trip to Flamboro, then 2 weeks from now, Peterborough, Saturday night, June 18th, then Delaware for Friday, July 1st, a trip to Sunset on August 13th, and then back to Delaware. So no trips to Sauble for the Quick Wix series.
Next time out of turn number 4, we'll set them loose. Rick Verburn in the Spark Power number 88. Ryan Dyson in the APC Auto Parts Center's number 28. Douglas Windows and Doors also on that Ryan Dyson 28 machine. They're going to lead the field to green, but they've got some hungry racers behind them. Race fans, it's time to go Quick Superstock racing here at Flamboro Speedway.
2022 season opener for the Quick Wix series underway now. It's Verburn on the bottom, Dyson up top. Verburn's going to squirt out front. Dyson now side by side with Culver. That's the race for second, down in 3 and 4.
What a luxury for Rick Verburn clearing Ryan Dyson. I mean, the whole field behind him, double file looking for racing room. He's got a bit of racetrack to work with. Now Trevor Culver does as well. Culver squirts up to the second position, and they are clear the side-by-side battle of Lane Zardo and Ryan Dyson.
Wow, Tamira fit his car in a hole there last time down the front stretch, and Culver, meanwhile, going to work on Verburn. A little contact through turns 1 and 2. Culver's hunting the bottom and trying to get the lead into 3.
Working the inside, and of course, all the way to the bottom of Flamboro Speedway. They use the apron to race on, but it is absolutely flat. So they race into turn number 1. Verburn's up on the banking, and Culver kind of slid up a little bit to catch a bit of that banking and help propel him to the top spot.
Nate Zardo trying to figure out who to follow. He will follow Culver. They both bypass Rick Verburn on the bottom. Now, Tamirsma's going to poke his nose in there as well. 3-year championship contenders just waltz on by that 88 Spark Power machine of Verburn.
Meanwhile, our outside pole sitter, Ryan Dyson, has slid out of the top 5. He might be out of the top 10 before he's able to get down to the inside.
Oh, he just got body checked down the front stretch. Little door slam from Vanderwist. He's going to try to get in line, and he will right in front of Trobeck. Now you see Chenoweth on the hunt as well. He's going after Rick Verburn. This is for 5th spot right now.
Sean Chenoweth far and away has the most laps here at Flamboro Speedway of anybody in this starting grid. He knows how to get it done on the inside, the outside. He has passed people every which way you possibly can.
7 laps in the books for Trevor Culver out front. I see some smoke coming out of the back of that 36 car. I saw it on lap 1, and it looked like it went away, but it looks like it might have surfaced now. You can see right as he gets to the middle of turns 1 and 2 here, you'll see a little puff right there. So I'm not sure whether he's got, it looks like he might have maybe a tire rubbing on the frame rail of the right rear or something. It's just when it's under load and it swings everything to the right rear and right in the center of that corner, but it's got to be concerning for that 36 crew.
It is possible that as things come up to temperature, it could stop, but it's also possible that you could blow a right rear tire in the process. Trevor Culver doing a nice job holding Lane Zardo down to the inside. They rub a little bit off turn 4 down the front straightaway. Contact again in turn number 1. They are duking it out hard here at Flamboro Speedway.
Pushing and shoving for the lead. The Bester Forest Products, number 36 of Zardo on the bottom. The Inventory Express machine of Trevor Culver up top. Again, these were the two that battled for the 2021 Quick Wick Championship. It came down to 1 point in the final night. Your leader's Lane Zardo, but again, that smoke every single lap through the middle of the corner, it's got to be disconcerting. And I'm not sure, Adam, whether it's actually coming from the right rear in the tire area or if that could be coming out of the exhaust when he hits the throttle.
That could be a problem. The other thing to watch for whenever a car is smoking, you want to look at the back bumper because it'll generally gather. If it's oil coming out, it'll stick to the back bumper and gather in all sorts of debris, so you'll see it. The other thing to watch for is the cars behind him sliding around. That's an indication that there might be some oil coming out of it. We don't really see either of those things right now, so we'll keep an eye on it. But you've got to believe that Lane Zardo's crew is I don't know if they're communicating it or not, but they definitely have to be seeing it. But Roy Wilkie, a team car to the 36, is doing exactly the same thing.
Wilkie's been running here weekly as well, so has Lane Zardo. So getting lots of experience here at the Hamilton Area Speedway. Yeah, I see that. Roy Wilkie's car doing the exact same thing. So not sure how identical these chassis are on the 36 and the 33.
Hey, when they even develop the same ailment, you know you've got similarities. Sean Chenoweth to the inside of Rick Verburn trying to get that LRR London Recreational Racing number 89C up into the top 5. Meanwhile, at the front, Garrett Teamersman giving a little bumper love into Lane Zardo.
Some contact a little further in the field. Pete Vanderwist and Carson Nagy doing battle. Now Nagy's going to take advantage of the 88 of Rick Verburn. He's going to bypass him on the inside. Now here comes Vanderwist as well. And Ryan Dyson now trying to pick up all those spots he lost on that first run.
Ryan Dyson has to be fuming a little bit under that helmet. It's just circumstances, not much you can do. He's up on the high side. The car wasn't really set up to work up there, and he lost a whole bunch of spots that he will now try to gain back for Byrne. Tried to squeeze him down, wasn't able to do it in 3 and 4.
Well, you want to talk about an absolute range of emotions. They were struggling earlier tonight, that Dyson crew. Were happy after qualifying and can't be happy again now. But Ryan's starting to pick him up and lay him down. You see your front 3 have broken away a bit from Roy Wilkie. That's Zardo, Temersma, and that one of Trevor Culver. Great shot with the drone down the backstretch. And I do notice on the front stretch, he's really got to be careful because of that power wire that goes over the track.
Yeah, we lost one that way last year on the very first race we did on G-Force.
And Garrett Temersma now still showing some patience behind Zardo, but as the laps tick down, it will be go time soon.
Well, he's showing patience, like you say. He hasn't gotten very rude with Lane Zardo, but every corner he's shadowing, learning exactly where he's a little bit quicker than the 36.
Well, in every corner you follow him through, that's one less corner you're going to have to pass him before the end of the race. You got to take your stab at some point. Temersma right there as you see Pete Vanderwist get by the 93 of Carson Nagy. That puts Vanderwist up into 6th spot, shuffle Nagy back to P7.
We'll see if Pete Vanderwist can close that gap. He was quick earlier on in practice in that 7 machine. Can you believe this? Next time by, it's going to be the halfway mark.
Well, we've seen some of these races go green to checkered. I believe the one here last year did, if I'm not mistaken, when Temersma won. So definitely not a lot of roughhousing with the Quick Wick Superstocks. They just get out there, get their 50 laps done, and get it over with. Some great racing so far as your leaders work through 3 and 4. Zardo still holding serve on Garrett Temersma.
And the day is young, so there's still lots of time for funny business as Vanderwees with a really odd line through 3 and 4. That car shot up the racetrack, then he diamonded the corner and shot down through turn number 4, got a great run down the front stretch. but it was an unconventional line he took through 3 and 4 for sure. Did it again there. I don't know if that's a mistake. It's not doing it in turn 1, but in turn 3, it's an odd line.
Well, there you see your front trio and the quartet, including Roy Wilkie. They've been joined by a 5th driver. The 89C of Sean Chenoweth has reeled that front 4 in. He's sitting 5th, but he's in contention to pick up some more spots. Again, you see Tamirsma just working that leader, and you still see that smoke out of the 36 Zardo. Question is, does it have 22 more laps left in it?
Well, that's a great question. If I'm Garrett Tiemersma, I'm not as worried about passing the 36 of Lane Zardo as I am watching that 89C. If the front bumper of Sean Chenoweth gets to his mirror before he's able to make a move on Lane Zardo, that's a problem for the 17.
Probably the raciest guy in that front 4, Roy Wilkie, just took a little stab at Trevor Culver. He pokes the nose down there again through 1 and 2. Culver holds him off. You see Rusnell and Corey McAllister getting together off turn 4, and Rusnell with a big slide job in 1 and 2.
Fluid just spewed out of that 72. They made contact. It's like someone threw a water balloon. Is one of those cars pushing water?
McAllister in that Caldecott machine.
Is that smoke out the back of the 72, or is it fuel, or is it water?
Sounds like water out of the back of that 72. And him and Corey McAllister still going at it. Black flag. Rocket Randy Rusnell's going to have to obey that within a couple laps.
Well, it's in his best interest to obey that, because whatever the liquid is coming out the back of the 72, it's not supposed to exit the race car.
Rusnell still side by side. While you see again, it gets worse down in 1 and 2 that time. And he shoves McAllister up the Speedway.
He's absolutely using up McAllister every corner. So if I'm Corey, I want that car gone. And they're not black flagging the 72.
Looks like the 56 of McFerrin got the black flag. He's now exiting the Speedway. So with front 15 to go, it's still the 36 of Zardo and Tamirsma running second. It looks like those two have separated themselves from everybody else. Adam, pit stays green. Those are the two that are going to be deciding it.
The other thing that kind of boggles my mind is if that's a dummy hose for Randy Russell in the 72, you would normally run it up the windshield. And the reason is you want the driver to see if you're overheating and putting water out. Like a car cannot put water, and now it's starting to slow down. And it's not because the car cooled itself down, Jake.
I saw one team that had the dummy hose up the A-pillar to the roof. They blew the motor because the driver had no idea it was spitting steam out.
And if it's gasoline, he's losing hundreds of dollars a lap.
Oh, and this is going to be good. Pete Vanderwist has caught Sean Chenoweth. We know Pete Vander was not shy to use the bumper. We'll see if this gets physical between the 89C and the 7. And this is all happening for fifth spot.
And what Chenoweth will do, such a veteran of this racetrack, he will change his line and change his braking points to affect the driver in his rearview mirror, make it difficult for Vanderweest. At the front, Garrett Tiemersma continues to absolutely shadow the race leader, Lane Zardo.
Well, this was going on. Chenoweth, who was fired off like a rocket as we got a challenge for the lead from Tamirsma down to 3 and 4. Looks like he might have a line on Zardo, but Zardo holds him off. Again, Chenoweth, who's coming through the field like a rocket, that advance has kind of stopped, and he's allowed the 7 of Vanderwist and now the 93 of Nagy to catch up to him.
Lane Zardo just executed a veteran move. He knew he wasn't going to catch Cashmore in a good spot, so he checked up a little bit. There was nowhere for Tiemersma to go. And then, trouble in turn number 1. Culver and Wilkie get together. Sean Chenoweth involved in that as well. Unbelievable. They did not crash.
Not sure if Wilkie moved Culver there, but Wilkie up in the 3rd spot now. Chenoweth runs 4th, Vanderwist 5th, and Vanderwist starting to lay the bumper to the 89C of Chenoweth.
So you can tell it's time to go. 43 laps down, 44 now, 6 laps to go in this quick Superstock 50-lap event.
They work around the outside of Steve Cashmore. Chenoweth still holds the spot over Vanderwist. As you see the double shot now, Vanderwist to the inside of Chenoweth. Got the position. Nagy's right there as well. I think something might be wrong with that 89C.
Has to be.
He's just falling off the pace.
He's not going to lose a couple of spots in a corner, then another one the next corner. So Sean Chenoweth with problems in the 89C. Lane Zardo, the problems he sees are out his windshield. A couple of slower cars that he's probably going to catch right about the last lap of this race.
Going to be 3 to go at the line this time by Lane Zardo, your 2021 champ, as Dyson picks up a spot. Chenoweth's slide continues. Trobeck will get him as well.
Chenoweth is overheating. You can see the water coming out the dummy hose on the right side of that windshield. I expect he's going to take it pit side this lap. It's spewing like a geyser.
Chenoweth going to call it a night here. Going to be 2 to go at the line for Lane Zardo. Again, that smoke continues to billow in the middle of 1 and 2 and the middle of 3 and 4, but it has lasted so far. White flag set to fly. Lane Zardo to the stripe. He's got about 6 car lengths over to Mearsma.
Teamersman trying to close in that number 17. 1 more lap to go. The gap is 3 car lengths back. They're going to approach this slower car, but I believe it will not be a factor. Checkered flag. We go wire to wire again. Lane Zardo for the win. Garrett Teamersma second. Roy Wilkie in third. Fourth to Pete Vanderwees. Fifth, Carson Nagy. Then it's Trevor Culver, Ryan Dyson, Nick Troback, Rick Verburn,
Randy Russell,
Randy Russell rounding out the top 10. And look at, now it's just puking up the car. I don't think 10th place in this race pays enough to replace a GM crate engine.
Definitely not. It'll be interesting to find out just what the scoop was with the 36 and the 33. A lot of smoke from those cars, each of them for 50 laps, but they lasted.
Well, guys, Trevor Culver and Roy Wilkie having some discussions here down the straightaway, nice and slow.
Yeah, and Wilkie, we think, did make some contact there with Culver. It's a physical style of racing in the super stocks, but what a job by these drivers going 50 laps caution-free at Flamboro Speedway. Lane Zardo going to pull that car down to quick victory lane, and our very own Clinton Jeffrey will be there to greet him.
Thanks, Adam. Lane already has the helmet off. He'll pull in here with the checkered flag out the window and ready to celebrate a great start to the 2022 Quick Super Stock Series here for Lane, picking up the same way he left off at the end of 2021. And he knows the quick way to victory lane and gets it done again. Gets a quick word with Sean Gibbs, and we'll get him out here to talk to us. We'll get Lane around the front here and get his trophy presented to him. Here he comes out of the car, ladies and gentlemen. How about a hand for Lane Zardo? Lane will work his way around here, get presented with the winner's trophy. We'll get a quick word with him. Lane, jump in here, grab your trophy. Congrats, man. Lane, great job here today. You know, flag to flag, you got to be real happy with how that worked out. The races don't get much better than that for you. You know, Garrett was knocking on your door a few times, but in the end, he got in an issue with another car and was able to not quite get where he needed to be with you tonight.
Yeah, I looked up in my rear view and I saw him waving at me a few straightaways. He was definitely right there. Last year at this APC race, me and him ran 1-2, and we ran very respectfully to each other. You know, this was the same way. He gave me a few bumps and like No, nothing dirty, like nothing whatsoever. Just something I probably would have done to him the exact same way. I was able to pinch him down a little bit. You know, that was the aggressive racing, and then that lap car kind of saved my butt there. I think we opened up a little bit of a gap.
Now, when he's waving at you, was he using all 5 fingers?
No, he was giving me the 1 finger wave, I think, going down the straightaway.
But we had to ask, who got you here, Lane?
Yeah, I mean, we got so many people to thank. Video camera's on, right? Can we take a quick little tour of this car, man?
Yeah, sure.
All right, we got Bester Forest Products. We got Water Sanitation. We got one of my sponsors here, Gord's Basement Waterproofing. Big shout out to them. I got Andy Schmidt and John Saunders here. Big shout out to Brian McDonald, Fabrication, and then obviously my crew, Brad Widow, Chuck Dorr, Randy, Kenny Grubb, and Murray Grubb, everybody that's got me here, my mom, my grandfather, and thank you guys to the fans. We wouldn't be here without you guys, London Recreational Racing, and Quick.
Lane Zardo will leave number 1 with the point lead, guys. We'll send up to you, and we'll get ready to talk to Garrett and Roy Wilkie.
You know, Jamie, I think it's fair to say you never embark on a race here at Flamboro Speedway and expect to go caution-free. We've seen clean races, but I don't think you envision that because you don't want to set yourself up for failure.
I think that's back-to-back for quick races here, including last year. Like I said, I don't think there was a caution last year, but absolutely tremendous. And I'm just shocked that the 36 actually finished. I mean, we saw that smoke early and often. And same problem out of the 33, but they both survived.
They did so. Clinton Jeffrey is with our second place finisher.
Thanks, guys. Garrett's here with us. Garrett, not a bad run for you. You looked like you had a shot at this one, but you got tangled up with the lapper there in the end. It kind of took your momentum away, and you just couldn't reel him in the last 10. Safe to say that was the situation today?
I think pretty much nailed it. I'm not gonna lie, I'm extremely disappointed. I feel like I should have won, but shoulda, coulda, woulda. That doesn't mean I should have, but just feel like I could have. And first of all, I got to thank all of my sponsors, all of my partners that we mentioned quite a bit: Wave Freight, 905 Customs, Line-X, all the sponsors that make this series possible. But you know what? We're going to regroup. This was a great night. We've qualified second, finished second. We were just that much off of the 36. And you know what? He won at Flamboro this year. I won at Flamboro last year. Maybe next week, or in a couple of weeks, I'll win it at Peterborough. That's onwards and upwards from here.
Good attitude, bud. You're still going to be second in the points after race number 1. It's a great start to your season. Roy, your car ran a lot like Lane's. The guys were talking about how they looked similar. They were smoking similar. Tell us a bit about your race today.
Well, my race was pretty interesting. We qualified 6th, so we weren't going to get into the invert. So it's just take it as we go. Don't really like the outside here too much, but there is a lane there. So we got an opening on the bottom side, got in, down in there, just started making some moves, getting going. The track seemed to get slippery at one point of the race, so I'm not too sure if everybody was slipping and sliding, if it was just me, but I lost some momentum on those guys. Once I got past that slippery stage of the race, then I was starting to make a little bit of ground on them, but didn't have enough laps to catch them, that's for sure.
Third, still a great finish.
It is a great finish. We're very proud of that.
There you have it. Roy Wilkie will be third. Garrett Teemersman second, and your winner here of race number 1 of the Quick Super Stock Series. Lane Zardo, ladies and gentlemen, the champion from last year, gets it done in race number 1. We'll be right back here live on G-Force TV. Stick around.
Early man discovered fire, but Quick perfected fire. Quick is the only fire starter that guarantees to start your campfire, wood stove, or fireplace without the need for kindling or paper. Find your nearest Quick retailer at quickwick.com.
I've always had the spirit that I wanted to invent something new. And so when we got into clothing, I got immersed into it in the only way that you really understand how to build clothing is to become a pattern maker. That pattern maker concept started becoming very interesting to me because I went, I can make this better. Love it. Absolutely love designing. Doesn't matter whether it's a garment or an engine or a car, decals on our race cars. I love doing it. That's my forte.
Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to our weekly race chat.
Adam Ross and Clinton Jeffrey are live and interactive every Tuesday night. Rivals Race Chat is your home for race discussion, debate, news, interviews, and more. They'll even take your questions and comments live on the air and talk to some of the newsmakers each week.
Tune in every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. on GeForce TV.
So who exactly is Fast Eddie? More than just a man, it's the mindset that runs through our blood like oil through an engine. Whether on the track or on the street, Fast Eddie is the spirit that drives us to go fast and keep going. Born in 1949 with no time to look in the rearview mirror, every story is worth telling, and every piece of Fast Eddie apparel has its own. Celebrate our mindset. This is Fast Eddie. This is combustion culture. FastEddieSpeedwear.com.
Welcome back to Flamboro Speedway, where we were just entertained by 50 laps of Superstock racing, and here is how they finished. Of course, your top three: Lane Zardo, Garrett Teemers, Roy Wilkie. Fourth and fifth, the 7 of Pete Vanderweest, the 93 of Carson Nagy. Sixth was Trevor Culver in the 1. Seventh was Nick Troback in the 73. Eighth was the 88 of Rick Verburn. Ninth was Randy Rustle in the 72, and 10th was Corey McAllister in the 71. 11th went to Jason Parker in the 8. 12th was Nick Ramsey in the 07. 13th was the 31 of Chad Corcoran. And that is amazing to me that all of those drivers wound up on the lead lap. Now, I've got a question. Did Ryan Dyson go a lap down in that race, Jamie?
Showing him one down.
Do you remember him? Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. It's showing Ryan Dyson one lap down in 14th. 15th, I believe, was Nick Ramsey. No, he was 12th. Not sure who was 15th. It's showing up as a blank transponder. Sean Chenoweth 16th after his engine trouble. Brandon McFerrin 17th in the 56, and rounding out the field, the 13C of Justin Collison. But it is time for the TQ Midgets, and for that, we're going to turn it over to Kevin Small, and I'm going to support him and enjoy his call of the TQ Midgets feature event.
Thanks, Adam. And TQ Midgets, Quick Wick Can-Am Midgets are on track now, presented by Miller Mobile Offices here. Here is how they are going to line up here for their 25-lap feature event. Starting in 14th position, car number 53 from St. Catharines, Ontario, it's going to be Roberto Polillo. Starting in the 13th position, car number 46 from Palmerston, Ontario, is Bob Bailey. Starting in row number 6, car number 5 from Georgetown, Ontario, is going to be Andrew Whelan, and to his inside, the car number 44 from Cambridge, Ontario, that's going to be Mike Coleman. Top 10, starting in 10th position from Orangeville, Ontario, and car number 57, that's going to be James Stanley, and to his inside, car number 13 from Woodstock, Ontario, that's going to be Jaden Riddell. Starting in the 8th position from Kitchener, Ontario, car number 29, that's going to be Paul Harrison. Starting in the 7th position, car number 11, your feature 1 winner from the night 1 is going to be from St. Clements, Ontario, that's going to be David Miller. Top 3 starting rows in car number 55 from Waterford, Ontario is going to be Corey Whittam. And starting in the 5th starting position from Newmarket, Ontario, your last year's champion, the 7 of Jeff Blackburn. Starting in 4th, the number 6 car from London, Ontario, that's going to be Craig Pitchell, into his inside. Car number 83 from St. Thomas, Ontario, is Brody Rickwood. Your top row goes. Starting in 2nd position, the 42 from Hillsdale, Ontario, Daniel Hahn. And on the pole, car number 81 from London, Ontario, is Cassidy March. 25 laps the distance here for our Quick Wick Can-Am Midgets. They are going to salute you, the fans. Grab a hat, grab your hands, wave them as they come around the front straightaway. They're going to give you the 4-wide salute. We want to thank them for coming out, so show them your support as well. Give them a round of applause. As Gary would say, put your hands in the air and show them that you appreciate them coming out on this Saturday night. Four-wide salute, always one of the best things to see in racing. I know it happens in sprint car on the dirt a lot, but TQ Midgets, they always put on a special show here for us at Flamboro Speedway.
Yeah, they've been doing that for a long time. The Vintage Modifieds did that for a while. It's a common salute.
Certainly is. They're going to turn them loose to warm those tires up, get everything ready to go here for those racing machines. And again, 25 laps, the feature distance here for the Quick Wick Can-Am Midgets. Again, keep your eye on car number 11. That's going to be David Miller, Feature 1 winner from their first week of racing. Unfortunately, their race number 2 was rained out there a couple weekends ago up at Sunset Speedway. So this is technically race number 2 for these guys. As always, the Can-Am Midgets put on a fantastic show, and tonight is going to be no different. Again, keep your eye on the 42 machine of Daniel Hahn as well. He won his heat race earlier tonight. He's going to be starting outside pole. And again, in that 5th starting spot, the 7 of Jeff Blackburn, your champion from 1 year ago as well. Keep an eye on that 7 machine. They're going to come around turn 4. They're going to give them the 1 to go here. The field's doubled up. We're going to be green flag racing action here next time around. Again, 25 laps the distance here for the Quick Wick Can-Am Midgets. Buckle up. These cars are fast, they are light, and they're ready to put on a fantastic show here for you tonight at Flamboro Speedway. On the front row, the 81 machine of Cassidy March. To the outside, the 42 of Daniel Hahn. Look off of turn 4 and see the green flag in the air. We are underway for our Quick Wick Can-Am Midgets. Great start by the 42 machine of Daniel Hahn as he jumps away and clears a little bit of contact behind them. Heavy contact for the 83. We got a car around middle of the back straightaway. It looks like the 7 car of Jeff Blackburn. Caution is on the speedway.
That all started at the front of the grid when Corey Whittam had to bite the brakes at the front when he got squeezed up towards the outside wall. Just a big chain reaction as Jeff Blackburn jumps out immediately to have a look at the front end of that damaged number 7. Got a replay here, Kevin.
Yeah, you can see contact there from the 81 machine of March. Made contact coming off of turn 2. 55 of Corey Whittam, and then it was just a chain reaction there in the 7 machine of Jeff Blackburn. Just had nowhere to go. Looks like some damage to the right front of that racing machine. Oh yeah, heavy damage to the right front and left front of that racing car.
Yeah, Kevin, they got some major issues here. It will definitely need a new front axle on this. And they'll work to get this one hooked up. We'll wait for Jeff to get his gear off, and maybe we can get in and have a quick word with him here. But yeah, you can see the front end all tore up on this car. The front end is smiling, but the driver is not, as they say. Jeff gets the helmet off. We'll jump in here in just a moment's time. Jeff, bad deal here on the back straightaway at Flamboro. What happened?
I don't know. We're coming down the backstretch here, and something happened. Everyone checked up, and next thing you know, I'm just running in the back of someone and just spun my axle, sheared everything off. Just everyone bunched up, and I wasn't ready for it, I guess. Couldn't see anything, so that's the end of my night.
We appreciate your time, Jeff.
Thanks. Thank you.
Tough break for Jeff Blackburn here, guys.
I'll tell you, a few drivers did a nice job to avoid that. David Miller, my goodness, you couldn't get much closer, Kevin, to being in it, but did a great job. So did everyone else, because that started with the 3rd car in line.
Yeah, you know, always problems when there's problems at the front of the field. The rest of the field has to scatter around. The rest of the field did a great job getting around that 7 machine of Blackburn. Basically parked in the middle of the back straightaway. Doesn't look like anybody else was harmed, so we're going to continue on here. But great job by the rest of the field to scatter around that 7 machine of Jeff Blackburn.
You get an idea from this vantage point. These TQ midgets sit so low, the driver, you don't actually see over the wall. The driver sits lower than the height of the wall in these things.
Yeah, these racing machines are definitely a very fun race car to watch. These guys, because they're so light, they're very nimble. These guys basically almost don't even crack the throttle going through the turns. They are just so much fun to watch. They just always put on a great show for us here.
You know, for a lot of years, John Casale wouldn't book them at Flamboro. For many, many years, the midgets did not race here at Flamboro Speedway. For whatever reason, I don't know if they made him nervous or what the reason was, because it's a great racetrack. This size racetrack is ideal for these race cars.
Yeah, they definitely, these smaller racetracks definitely put on a great show here for these Can-Am midgets. Some might have said that sometimes putting them on a field like this is like putting a fighter jet inside of a fishbowl. Looks like they're going to come through turn 3 and 4. We're going to go back green flag racing action. Green flag is back in the air as the 42 machine of Daniel Hahn gets a great jump once again. He's going to clear the 81 machine. 55 of Corey Whittam as well is going to clear the 81, give second position to that 55 machine. As well, the 11 of David Miller now scoots up into the third position as well, so keep an eye on that 11 machine. Again, your first feature winner from week number 1 here for the Can-Am Midgets. Front 3 separated by about a couple car lengths here now as the rest of the field tries to sort itself out, a little bit of double file action behind them. But at the front of the field, 3-car breakaway here so far as the 11 of Miller is still trying to see if he can hunt down that 55 machine of Corey Whittam. Daniel Hahn continues to lead the way. A little bit further back, that's the 57 of James Stanley. Seeing if he can make a move on that 29 machine of Paul Harrison. Stanley moving up from the Outlaw Midgets to join these Can-Am Midgets here this year as well. First car around in the middle of turn 3 and 4. Caution flag is going to fly here. That's the 53 of Roberto Polillo. He's going to spin that machine back around and get it refired here again. Quick Super Stocks went 50 laps, caution free, and so far 2 cautions in here for our Can-Am Midgets.
Pretty sure Polillo used to race here back in the 1990s in the Ontario Speedway mini sprints. Drivers like Dennis Thompson, Colin Turnbull, Joe Arsenault, a bunch of them raced in that class. And there was a Polillo family, which I believe owned a number of video stores. Like back in the day when you would rent videos, I think that's what was on all the race cars.
See, you talking about the mid-1990s, that's a little bit almost before my time. I mean, we're dating ourselves a little bit here, but yeah, always a great racing heritage here at Flamboro Speedway. Again, 50 years of ownership here for the Caselli family. Looks like the field is doubled up here again. Looks like they gave them the 1 to go. We're going green this time around. A couple great shots here by our drone as well. Again, leading the way, that 42 machine of Daniel Hahn. To his outside, a new challenger now, the 55 of Corey Whittam. They're going to go through 3 and 4. Look for the green flag once again. It's in the air, back underway. Daniel Hahn gets a great jump in that 42 machine. Clears the 55 car. The 11 of Miller also clears the 81 of Cassidy March. 3 wide behind them as the 5 machine of Andrew Whelan just sneaks by, but at the front of the field, single file here. We'll see if Corey Whittam in that 55 machine can track down that 42 of Daniel Hahn. Again, those front 3 seem to be the class of the field here now, but still a little bit further in the field, that 57 of James Stanley still working on that 29 machine of Paul Harrison. He's going to go to the outside, take the long way around. Side-by-side battle here for that position. Looks to be for the 7th position now. We'll see if Stanley can have anything for that 29 machine. Tight racing action here as they flash into turn 3. Now the 6 machine of Craig Pitchell joins the party as well. We'll see if he has anything for those machines up in front of him. 57 of Stanley all the way down on the apron there. Like you said earlier, Adam, that's super flat down there on the bottom. He's able to make it work, but now he's loose up in the marbles through 3 and 4 and loses all those positions he just gained back. Through turn 3 and 4, he's going to have to work again. Then at the front of the field, though, that 55 machine of Corey Whittam trying to track down our leader, the 42 of Daniel Hahn. Racing action all over the place here at Flamboro Speedway. Like we said, these Can-Am midgets always put on a fantastic show here for us. You see the 13 machine of Jaden Riddle in that bright orange car. See if he can make a move on that 6 machine of Craig Pitchell. Again, still at the front of the field. Couple car lengths clear, the 42 machine of Daniel Hahn. 55 of Corey Whittam trying to see if he can find a lane around that 42 machine, but the 42 of Daniel Hahn, smooth and steady, That's the way to go around Flamboro Speedway here. Keeping that momentum up, especially in these light race cars. You definitely don't want to lose that momentum. Again, still a little bit further in the pack. There's a 4-car battle here for that. Looks like about the 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th position now. That's the 6 car of Craig Pitchell as well. Still a bit of a hornet's nest for those cars. Now the 57 of Stanley is going to try the bottom again on the 29 of Paul Harrison. He's going to clear Harrison off of turn 2, but a bit of a slide job as Harrison tries to come back on the bottom. Stanley finally clears the 29 machine. He's going to try to pull away. Still at the front of the field. 42 of Daniel Hahn and the 55 of Corey Whittam. They are the class of the field. There's a car around off of turn 2. That's the 29 of Paul Harrison. Caution flag will fly. Looks like safety crews are going to get that machine pushed back around here. We'll see if they can get that 29 car refired here and back underway.
Kevin, that's where having the go-kart track is pretty handy, because if you can't make a specific turn to get pushed away, you can drive through the go-kart track and get yourself back in the right direction without having to drive through any marbles or pick up debris on your tires.
Yeah, it certainly gives the safety crews a lot of advantage here. They're able to refire that 29 machine and fire that car back off. He's going to rejoin the tail end of the field here. Looks like they're going to double them up and give them the 1 to go here. We're going to go green flag racing back again here next time around. Again, still at the front of the field, that 42 machine of Daniel Hahn still leads the way. 55 of Corey Whittam still in second place. Again, keep an eye on that number 11 machine of David Miller. That car drifted off there towards the later going of that run. Through 3 and 4, the 42 of Daniel Hahn so far has had some great restarts. Green flag is back in the air. We are underway here. The 55 of Whittam gets a great start this time. They're going to drag race through 1 and 2. Off of turn 2, they're still side by side as they head down the back straightaway into turn 3. Still side by side for the race lead. Whittam by about a nose length is going to lead that lap. He's going to sling it in front of the 42 machine of Daniel Hahn. New race leader at the front of the field, the 55 of Corey Whittam. Whittam able to use that fantastic restart and get a great jump on the 42 machine. He's going to propel himself to the lead, clear by about a couple car lengths here now. 42 of Daniel Hahn is going to settle into second place in the clutches of the 11 machine of David Miller now. Front 3 again have separated themselves apart from the rest of the field. Whittam continues to lead the way in that 55 car. A little bit further back, the 57 of James Stanley finally gets in fourth, and there's a spinner going into turn 2.
Yeah, I believe that's Palillo once again in the 53 machine. Struggling to find the handle on that race car.
Safety crews are going to see if they can get that machine refired back up as well. Oh, looks like they're able to do that on their own. Again, a great move by the 55 machine of Corey Whittam on that restart to jump in front of the 42 of Daniel Hahn.
Well, unfortunately for Hahn, you get a yellow flag, and perhaps he can return the favor if they still have double file restarts at this point of the race. Hey, Jamie, while you were gone, Kevin called you old.
Experienced.
I was reminiscing about the 90s. He doesn't remember them.
It's funny, people say 30 years ago. That's 1992. Yeah. People say 30 years ago. I think the 70s.
Green flag is back underway here. Hey, I'm only 27 years old, so I got a long ways to go. But the 55 of Corey Whittam gets a great restart again here, and the 42 of Daniel Hahn's going to have to settle back into second position again. Still a front 3-car breakaway at the front of the field. That 55 machine is able to clear the 42 again. He's cleared by about 3 car lengths now over that 42 of Daniel Hahn. See the 11 of David Miller has anything for that 42 machine. Still side by side a little bit further in the back, but again, the 42 machine of Daniel Hahn still continues to lead the way. Side by side for about the 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th position there. Again, James Stanley in that 57 machine. Passes for 4th place. They're going to see the 5 to go flash from the starter. 5 laps to go. The 13 of Jaden Riddle now to the bottom of that 81 car. They're a bit of a crossover move. Now the 81 is going to slide back to the bottom. 13 machine of Jaden Riddle is able to slide into that 6th position now. Again, still at the front of the field. That 55 of Corey Whittam leads the way. Cleared by about 5 to 6 car lengths now over that 42 machine of Daniel Hahn. Again, still a great battle there further in the field. That's for the 5th position as cars are nose to tail here. As they see the 2 to go, there's their spinner off of turn 4. That's the 81 machine of Cassidy March. Caution flag will fly.
Cassidy had a little bit of help.
Yeah, there was definitely some contact. That was in the hornet's nest from 5th to about 9th position there. Definitely some hard racing for those positions in the middle of the field.
I had a chance to talk to Cass March earlier today, and they wrecked that car in practice day, so they were happy with the way it was running, happy to just be out today.
We were over here for practice a couple of Tuesdays ago when Dwayne Baker absolutely destroyed a junior Hanley chassis. We're going to have a look at this replay here coming off of turn number 4. No, I'm mistaken. Cassidy March looked like just got a little bit loose there. The cars behind did a great job in avoiding.
Looks like they're going to give them the single file restart this time by, as we're going to be about 2 laps to go here for our Quick Wick Can-Am midgets. Getting that middle field, as Adam said, they were bunched up real together. Great racing action here for the Quick Wick Can-Am midgets division. Again, at the front of the field, that 55 of Corey Whittam's going to give them a nice slow pace as he comes through 3 and 4. He's going to get on the loud pedal. Green flag is back in the air. We are underway. See if the 42 of Daniel Hahn has anything for that 55 car. Whittam's going to go through 3 and 4 and see the white flag in the air. One more trip around this Flamboro racing surface for that 55 car. See if Hahn has anything in that 42 machine for that 55. Doesn't look so. Through turn 3 and 4, checkered flags are in the air. 55 of Corey Whittam is your feature winner. Second will go to the 42 of Daniel Hahn. Third will go to the 11 machine of David Miller. Fourth will go to the 57 of James Stanley. And rounding out that top 5 is the number 5 machine of Andrew Whelan. Again, a great job by that 55 machine of Corey Whittam to get Hahn on those restarts there and able to hold them off. You could see the excitement as he drove over the start-finish line.
Well, Corey's dad, Chip Whittam, a longtime late model sportsman competitor here at Flamboro Speedway. Not going to tell you when, because it only hurts my emotions.
We never want to hurt emotions up here, right?
It's all good. But Corey Whittam, a happy camper, and I believe Clayton Jeffrey is down there listening to the engines rev.
Whittam pulls it into victory lane, gives a yeah. We'll get him out and have a quick word with him here. Gives a thumbs up to the cameras, gets ready to jump out. He'll take the quick bucket, get the flag up there. We'll get a word with Corey here in just a moment. So Corey work his gear off here. We'll get a word with second and third as well. He's got the helmet off. We'll get ready to jump in here and talk to Corey. Corey, great drive today. You know, Daniel Hahn was there for a lot of that race, but at the end you managed to pull away.
Yeah, I was working hard on him. He was tough to get around. But thankfully that caution, I'm good on the high side, so I had that high line.
That was going to be my question. A few late cautions there made you rethink how this was going to end. Were you concerned at all?
A little concerned, but when we started single file in that last caution, I knew I had it. I was going to get a good restart. Yeah.
Solid drive. Who do you want to thank here?
I want to thank Allison Martello from Property Management Plus. Also ACR Property Plus. They're my main sponsors. They're great people. I also want to thank Herniak Hall Motorsports for all their help over the years. Quick, Epic, Wagner Painting, Miller Office Trailers, Neely Auto, and a bunch more. I'm just so excited. If I miss some, I'm sorry.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Corey Whittam gets it done. We'll get over here and talk to Daniel Hahn, our second place driver. Daniel, not a bad run. I mean, you were fast, and your program's kind of come around with this car, but not quite quick enough to put Corey back one spot tonight.
Yeah, I think if I was able to run the restarts like I wanted to, I think that would be a different story. There was no way that I was getting past, but I guess I want to make a nice, clean, good-looking race, so then that's what they got, and we just kind of, the outside's preferred. If I could take the outside, I would, but we can't, so we're happy with a second. We got wrecked here last week and finished 8th, so to bounce back to that, I'm really happy. I'd like to thank Quick and Miller Office Trailers, they're our primary sponsors. HMCW, that's my business. We're building TQ midgets and doing a lot of fabricating work. Flamboro Machine Shop, they're on board this year. Everybody knows who they are, and just all the racers, good, clean fun. Wish we could have got them, but we'll come back next week and try again.
Good job, Daniel. We'll get over here, third place driver. You got to tell us what your name is, because a lot of our fans don't know. It's your first time on G4.
David Miller. I used to come from go-karts, still do a bit, but I got into this about 3 years ago and haven't stopped since.
Great run here today against two of the best. Third is...
Yeah, third for sure. I got the first feature win last week, but third starting from 7th today, really good result.
Right on. There you have it from our TQ midget. Victory Lane. We'll be right back live here on G-Force TV.
Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to our weekly race chat.
Adam Ross and Clinton Jeffrey are live and interactive every Tuesday night. Rivals Race Chat is your home for race discussion, debate, news, interviews, and more. They'll even take your questions and comments live on the air and talk to some of the newsmakers each week. Tune in every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. on G-Force TV.
On the scene since 1949, Fast Eddie was born with a lead foot and a burning need for speed. His passion for speed and sport has been captured in this authentic collection of vintage-themed gear. Created for gearheads, riders, and racers, Fast Eddie truly encompasses the great Canadian racing culture we have from coast to coast. Drive hard, get dirty, and look good doing it. Fast Eddie Speedwear. Get geared up.
Welcome back to Flamboro Speedway. I'm Adam Ross with Jamie Maudsley, Clinton Jeffrey, and Kevin Small, the announcer for here at Flamboro Speedway. And Kevin, I think at this point you get to be a race fan for 100 laps, which is not a bad thing at all.
No, I certainly enjoyed my time here jumping on with you guys, and I always appreciate it. But now I get to saddle up and watch 100 laps here for the APC late models, who always put on a fantastic show here at Flamboro Speedway.
Best I can tell, the fans here at Flamboro were in good hands. And Jamie, we talk about this. Clinton and I talk about it all the time. This sport needs fresh talent, whether it's a flagger or whether it's an announcer or a publicist, there are so many roles to be played at the racetrack, and it's ripe. You know, if you want to work in racing, the opportunities are there, Jamie.
Well, definitely, and I know that my boy Jordan's been doing all the Facebook updates for G-Force, and again, a family affair. I mean, you get to go racing with your kid. Myself and my kid, we get to come to the racetrack and work at the APC races and enjoy the day. And speaking of a guy who's turned things around, we got I believe it was a 10th place qualifying effort for the Polar Blair Wicket. We've got a nice feature on Blair, the Cambridge driver.
I hope that we got the car back together and everything goes well today. I got my dad and the Shaw Motorsports behind me. I know with their help we can definitely get this turned around.
Fast Eddie Speedway driver spotlight. We're going to line these cars up on the front straightaway. The drivers will climb out. We'll do a proper driver introduction. And then they're going to strap in and prepare for 100 laps of battle in the London Recreational Racing 100. Great to see Mike Schmidt here at the racetrack today. And he always travels with an entourage too, Clinton. There's a ton of people representing London Recreational Racing.
Yeah, for sure. A major sponsor here for many of the last few years, and really up the game here on the APC Quick Superstock Tours. Great field of cars as they work their way out here. We'll get ready to go in just a minute. And, you had Danny Benedict walk into your shot. I got a guy walking into my shot, and I'm going to ambush him here, Ryan, so get ready. And Big Ron, how's it going? Racing Dad of the Year, Ron Sheridan here. I just told the guys on the air I'm going to ambush him. He doesn't know what's coming. But, Ron, let's talk about you and your wife and the family go through. You got two of your sons out here. One is dedicated to the dirt with the sprint cars. Nick moved up to the top division in the 360s and won his heat, ran great last night. Then you got Jake here tonight running the blacktop with the APC. How do you guys keep it straight? How do you keep the clothes clean? Know when to wear the dirty clothes, when to wear the clean clothes. I mean, I'm struggling there too. You got to be super proud of your boys, though, Ron.
I'm super proud of the boys, and I'm super proud how hard they work on the cars. I help. I help them. They tell me and what they want, and we try to make it all work together. My wife is the one that looks after, packs lunches, coolers, and does the laundries, and we all work hard, and we work 10-hour days at a regular job too. So I'm just proud of everybody, proud of this series, and so proud of Nikki last night. It was pretty good.
Okay, Jake, look away. What's the favorite son, Ron?
When the kids were little, whatever they were, Nikki was 5 and Jake was 8 or something. I had a couple of buddies and some neighbors over in the hot tub, and they asked me that, and I said, I know most parents have a favorite. I just don't. I just love them both so much.
All right, let's talk to the boys since you're standing here. Nick, you ran great last night in the sprint cars and a rookie. Jake's here. Who does mom and dad like more, Nick?
Oh, they're pretty even and fair between both of us, but I like to say myself when everybody asks.
I was going to say, come on, Jake, give me something we could use.
Yeah, no, my mom and dad are just, my dad just loves racing. He loves working with us out in the shop. My mom just loves his family. So it's pretty cool pretty cool to have, some of your best friends and your own family are home together every night. So I enjoy that a lot, and we just have a lot of fun out here digging no matter what happens. We win or lose, whatever happens, we're having a lot of fun this year. And it's a fun new step with Nikki in the dirt track, and a little bit of a new step for us this year in this program too. So just having a lot of fun.
It's a lot of fun for us to watch you guys support each other. Nick's here, turn a wrench for you. You were there last night. Great family here in racing, guys, the Sheridans. Adam.
Oh, you're not kidding, Clinton. And we're almost ready, I think, to get things started. You're going to have to find, when the time comes, Tony Schmidt from London Recreational Racing. That's who's going to give our command after we're done with driver intros and the drivers are all strapped into their race cars. But we're going to get things rolling here fairly quickly, I believe. I'm just waiting for the official go-ahead from Alex Nagy.
Well, while that was going on, we saw the shot on camera just before he talked to Ron Sheridan and the boys. And Jake was having a conversation with Kyle Steckley, and I'm thinking to myself, their dads were both pretty good. So a lot of good second-generational talent and even third-generational talent. And again, that's one of the big things you need when you go motorsports racing. Gets expensive to buy the technology. If you have that knowledge, it can be a big help towards your racing career. And especially if you got a dad who's famous or in the Canadian Motorsports Hall of Fame, he might have a thing or two that he's picked up along the years.
And that doesn't hurt at all. Race fans, it is time to meet the starting lineup for the London Recreational Racing 100. Starting 22nd from Stainer, the B&B Towing Nisco National Leasing number 48, Dwayne Baker. Starting 21st from Fraserville, the Custom Forming Walls Bondsma Brother Concrete Pumping number 79, James Horner. Starting 20th from Coldwater, the CM Precision Machining and Welding number 31, Jade Franklin. Starting 19th from Hillsburg, the BW Towing McMaster GMC Orangeville BBTS Markdale number 8, Jordan House. Starting on the outside of row number 9. From Carlisle, the Transport Trailer Sales Glider Tarp Systems Specialized Recycling number 27, Matt Box. Alongside from Southampton, the Graham Family Auto CarQuest Gingrich Service Center Tom Gibbons Concrete Roof Finishing number 10, Tom Gibbons. Starting 16th in the APC Auto Parts Centers Canusa Automotive Warehousing, Miami Muscle Ford number 3 from Dorchester, Shay Gemmel. Starting 15th from Orno, the Mobile One B&W Enterprises number 54, Danny Benedict. Starting 14th from Guelph, the Spira Fire Protection High-Grade Steel Roofing Systems number 86, Billy Schwarzenberg. Starting 13th from Aurelia, the SSG Gloves Airedale Carriers Holdaway Motorsports number 4, Connor James. Starting 12th from Norwood, the SMG Motorsports GTA Racing Designs Flathead Designs number 29, Flyin' Ryan Kimball. Starting 11th from Dundas, the SDR Seating Stage It With Style Nick's Journey number 74, Eric Della Riva. Now race fans, your top 10. Starting in 10th from Oro Medonti, the Caldecott Millwright Services number 31W, Rick Spencer Walt. Alongside him, from Cambridge in the Cambridge Rigging, Transaxle, H2Go Mobile Wash number 84, J.R. Fitzpatrick. Starting 8th from Chesley, the Ridgeline, Canadian Flat Roof Systems APC Bruce Service number 17, Josh Stoddy.
Adam, I got him here. Josh, you're one of our Fast Eddie drivers to watch today along with Fitzpatrick. How do you feel about your chances here at Flamboro tonight?
Yeah, I think we have a good car. We came here last Saturday. Lucky to have the Ridgeline crew over here in turn 1 with us tonight. Hopefully we can bring her home.
Good luck, Josh Stoddy, one of your Fast Eddie drivers to watch.
Starting 7th from Guelph, the NTN Bearings, Wellington Systems number 83, Dale Shaw. Starting 6th from Sauble Beach, The Sauble Falls Tent and Trailer Park CUSW Canadian Union of Skilled Workers Stewards Equipment number 81, Andrew Gressel. Starting 5th, from Plattsville, the London Recreational Racing, Mannheim Apex Oil, Caldecott Millwright Services 89C, Sean Chenoweth. Starting 4th, from Milverton, the Quick Fire Starter AW Millwright Stewards Equipment number 22, Kyle Stackley. Starting 3rd, from Mount Bridges, the Pride Seeds Vibrant Farms Cameron Crane number 52, Jake Sheridan. And now, race fans, your front row. Starting on the outside of row number 1 from London, the Global Warranty, ToyotaTown.com, number 21, Matt Pritico.
I got him here. Matt, how do you feel about your run here at Flamboro? Is it a place you're comfortable?
Yeah, super comfortable here. We've won a couple times here before. Really like the track. Great turnout tonight, and looking forward to having an awesome APC race.
Good luck tonight. Matt Pritico, car 21, Adam.
Hey, you know what I noticed, Clinton? I don't know if you have as well. These drivers, they're not being short, but you can tell they are laser focused tonight.
Agreed.
Short and sweet answers. Let's get it on. Race fans, your pole sitter. It's the Polar Blair. From Cambridge, JP Powder Coating, Vincent Lawn Equipment number 97, Blair Wickett.
Blair, you've spent a lot of time here at Flamboro. I assume this is a place you are comfortable at.
Yeah, this is probably my favorite track in Southern Ontario, and we know how to get around here. Hopefully better than these guys behind me, but we'll see.
You going to run out or hide tonight?
Well, I think I like where I am right now, is whether or not those guys allow me to stay here for too long.
Good luck, Blair Wickett, car 97, going from the pole, Adam.
These drivers are going to get themselves strapped in. We already did the anthem. Kevin Small did a great job singing that earlier on, Clinton. So we've got a few minutes to discuss what we are about to watch. 100 laps at Flamboro Speedway, and it is no secret there are drivers who dread this race on the schedule. 2 visits a year to Flamboro Speedway. By comparison, some of these racers, Jamie, they're Delaware Speedway drivers, a big half-mile racetrack. It is a vastly different style of racing than what you get when you go to Flamboro Speedway.
It seems to be a place that a lot of guys just love to hate. There's a lot of drivers that, oh my God, we got to go to Flamboro Speedway. Then you take a guy like Shea Gemmel, who cut his teeth at Delaware. He's embraced that. He's been here. He comes down and races their Triple Crown. He comes and races their Oktoberfest. And that's why he's going to be a favorite to win here today, is because other than Delaware, this is the place he's got the most laps. So he took it upon himself to say, hey, you know what? If I want to get better, I got to go to Sauble. I got to go to Flamboro. I got to get better at these other tracks. And he has, and it showed with his finish at Sunset. We'll see what he can do to back it up here tonight.
I almost feel as though, if you remember, once upon a time when Dale Earnhardt hadn't won the Daytona 500, and every year, is this going to be the race? Is this going to be the race? How about Dale Shaw, who hasn't won since 2000 and what? Is it 17?
I think it's 2017. It's been a long time.
It's today the day.
And it's not like he hasn't been close. I mean, second place finishes at Sunset last year, a pair of them.
He's lightning fast. He's a great, consistent racer. He's got a new look on the car, NTN bearings. The president, Paul Mio, I saw him wandering around earlier again. It's awesome that not only do these cars have great sponsors, but they're also involved in the sport. I mean, Ridgeline, fantastic turnout for them, a beautiful display down in turn number 1. So welcome to the sport, you know, at NTN Bearings with Paul, Frank, and Dave from Quick, Tony Spiteri, Jen Booth from Pinty's. I mean, there's all these sponsors around the sport that aren't just writing checks, they're involved in it. And when you get involved and engaged in something, it just adds a huge amount of value.
Well, I know before we started doing the TV deal, all the years I was announcing for APC, we used to get care packages from Matt Pritico, for example, every week. I get a whole box of stuff from Global Warranty to give out. You know what? I still see those T-shirts every time we show up to the racetrack. So, these guys have recognized the exposure they can get in motorsports, the exposure they can get with some activation here at the track and some branding and giveaways. And, the more the merrier.
Race fans, if you have lost a watch, it has been found, and it is up in the tower. You just have to go see someone in the tower, and you have to be able to tell them what time it is. See what I did there?
I saw that.
No, tell them what kind of watch it is, what color it is, what make it is. I'm fairly sure looking at this piece, you will want to have it back. It has been found. It is in the tower. And it'll be going on eBay at 10 o'clock if you're not able to claim it.
Opening night at Delaware a few weeks ago, I got to do we found a cell phone. It was in the lost and found. So I used this as an opportunity. I said, everybody in the stands, stand up, take your cell phone out, take a selfie, post it on your socials. Except for the guy who doesn't have your cell phone. We've got it at the souvenir booth.
I did hear you do that. Yeah, that was good.
Hey, we got some engagement on the socials, too, by doing it.
Absolutely. It's all about character and personality. And if you think we're just wasting time, folks, it's not about that. It's about making sure these drivers are strapped in properly. Drivers at the back had a little bit more time to get in and get ready, so we're still making sure things are buttoned up at the front. Tony Schmidt from London Recreational Racing is going to be the one to give the command. And then when it comes time to wave the green flag, it's going to be Leslie Bolduc, also representing London Recreational Racing, waving the green flag over today's LRR 100.
Leslie, in our defense, the sheet said that name, but it's Leslie Schmidt, Adam. We just got the worst look ever from the flagger. She just waved us with one finger, too.
How do you? There's only a couple of ways to spell
Is that
Schmidt.
to the TV crew, or is that to your
No,
man here?
I'm not going to tell you who it was that sent it to me, but it rhymes with Smalek Smaggy. Last time I listened to that fella.
She learned that gesture from Garrett Temiersma, apparently.
Yeah, exactly. So, Clinton, out of curiosity, are they giving you cues down there, Clinton? Do you know when we're going to be ready to rumble?
Yeah, Leslie just told. Right? 1 minute. That's what she just said. I'm waiting for Gibber to look at me, but he's staring away down turn 4. He's like, no, not even close. We're about a minute away, I think.
And this is something we're used to. And you and I, Clinton, talked about it after the event at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. There's no worse feeling as an announcer being down on the front stretch. We've got thousands of people in the stands who want to get going, and we take our commands from people in race control who don't have to stand in front of a crowd of people wanting to get things started. But we wait until they tell us it's time to go. Folks, if you do have your cell phone, pull them out and take a couple of pictures of these race cars, because they don't always look quite the way they start by the time you get to the end of a 100-lap Flamboro Speedway event.
I was thinking about that today on the way in, Adam. Do you remember the first ever APC race here at Flamboro Speedway? I believe it went about 228 laps. It was a 100-lapper.
Yes.
But it was a rough one. It was on a Wednesday afternoon, and it was July 1st. And that was the first ever event, the APC first ever event here at Flamboro Speedway. We were actually talking about the old six-pack series, where Delaware and Flamboro got all hooked up. Well, we'll throw it down trackside to Clint Jeffries. He's got somebody there with the famous command.
We got Tony Schmidt here from London Recreational. We got Leslie Schmidt up there ready to wave the green. Tony, you ready?
Absolutely ready.
All right, the drivers are ready. Let's hear it.
Drivers, start your engines.
All right, there you have it. Tony Schmidt from London Recreational Racing will fire up the cars, and we'll go down here and get ready, guys.
Let's talk about what we're about to witness. Jamie Monsi, let's make some picks. Who are you thinking? Pick a winner, pick a dark horse.
Wow. Come back to me. You go first.
I'm going to pick Shea Gemmel as my... No, I'm not. I was looking at the APC car on the outside of the second row, and I don't know why Shea's name popped up. Kyle Steckley, and as my dark horse, I'm going to take Blair Wickett. He has shown some wicked speed. There is one driver who could use some good fortune. Clinton Jeffrey, what are you thinking?
Well, I'm thinking Matt Pritico might have a shot here today. Two-time champion, says he feels good at Flamboro, starting on the outside row. Hasn't had the luck he needed in the last few APC races. I think you're going to see something good out of this silver global warranty car here tonight.
Well, that's who I was thinking. So now that choice is gone, Clint, thanks. I'm going to say after 2 feature wins last week and a good performance at Sunset and that brand new McCall chassis, J.R. Fitzpatrick's going to scratch and claw his way to the front. I think if you want a dark horse, don't know whether he's got what it takes to put it in victory lane, but he definitely could be a factor before the end of the night. Let's see Sean Chenoweth in that 89C put up a good run here tonight.
It almost makes me a little bit sad that we're saying Sean Chenoweth in a dark horse role, but I think that's fair, Jamie. It's been a tough few years for Chenoweth. I do think he put on a really good show at Sunset Speedway. He showed that program is moving in the right direction.
He started deep in the field at Sunset and posted a pretty good finish at the end of the night. He sits 8th in points here tonight. And we'll see if he can, again, continue that big turnaround.
Let's talk about that. Rick Spencer-Walt, of course, comes in as the points leader. He's got a 4-point edge over Shea Gemmell. Danny Benedict is third. Everybody is 1 point behind after the second spot. Shea Gemmell, Danny Benedict, J.R. Fitzpatrick, Josh Stoddy, Dale Shaw. What that shows us, every position is so very important. I like a simple point system, and that's what the APC uses. You get bonus points for winning a race.
And you want to talk about how every point is important. Treyton Lapsevich finished second in the points last year to Brandon Watson by 1 single point.
They all matter. Clinton Jeffrey peels his way off of the front straightaway. How about that red on Blair Wickett's number 97? That is a beautiful race car.
It's almost like the old Folgers red.
Yeah. Sean, give me some sort of an indication when we're going to do the wave lap, if you don't mind. I want to get people set up for that. We kind of missed the mark on the super stocks.
Well, sounds like this lap. You get your hands up in the air. Wave
Get
like
on your
you
feet.
just don't care.
Get on your feet, grab your hat, grab your program. Just use your hand. Give these drivers a wave. They're waving back at you.
Former Flamboro winners in the field tonight. Dale Shaw has victory here. Chenoweth has a win here. Andrew Gressel, who rolls off 6th, a pair of wins. J.R. Fitzpatrick, a pair of wins as well. Pritico has tasted victory here, so has Billy Schwarzenberg, his only career win. And, of course, Kyle Steckley getting that win in his maiden APC outed last year here at Flamboro. He will be one to watch as well. A couple drivers not in attendance as far as racing who have won here before. Brandon Watson is a 2-time winner at Flamboro. I did see Andy Camerath down in the pits today, but he was only wrenching. He won at Flamboro back in 2018.
I'll tell you something real strange. As we take the one to go, we're going to start this race off at turn number 4. Kyle Steckley's car has looked awkward to me the last 2 weeks, awkwardly loose. What that tells me is that his dad, Scott Steckley, and the crew, they're experimenting with something. If they hit it, that 22 is going to come to life. I've watched Scott do those things year after year. He'll be tweaking with something, but once he hits it, it is unbeatable. Blair Wickett in the 97, Matt Pritico in the 21. That is your front row. We're about to go green in the London Recreational Racing 100.
Pritico, the former champ. Oh, did he ever pinch Wickett on that start? Almost drove him right down onto the grass. Pritico's going to take advantage of it. Wickett in a bad spot. Sheridan wisely backs out and tucks in the line, but Matt Pritico using up Wickett on that start.
Yeah, that was a veteran move by Matt Pritico to keep Wickett down the track. In fact, It almost looks like something is wrong now with the wicket number 97.
Blair Wicket optimistic here this afternoon. He's running third right now. He seems to be up and rolling. He's got Jake Sheridan out the back door. Chenoweth behind him, and up front it's Pritico and the 22 of Steckley.
Tell you who got a bad start, Shea Gemmel in that APC number 3. He's up on the outside, losing a lot of spots towards the back. I mean, you're going to get shuffled forward, shuffled backwards. Things happen in these races, but you've got to try to cut your losses when you can.
Great battle there. A couple former champs going at it. J.R. Fitzpatrick on the bottom. The Sauble Beach Road Warrior Andrew Gressel on the top side. They'll race down the front stretch into one. Still Fitzpatrick on the inside. Gressel up top. And Fitzpatrick, again, two-time winner last Saturday night here at Flamboro, takes position.
I was going to say right behind them were Rick Spencer-Walt and Josh Stoddy, but Stoddy made a move to the outside of Gressel. Couldn't make that work in 3 and 4. That allows Rick Spencer-Walt to close in again. They'll continue to race door to door down the backstretch.
Meanwhile, out front, it's Pritico with control. Steckley goes second. They work down into one. Pritico still leads. Steckley's going to follow right in the tire tracks off turn 2.
Josh Stoddy, the only driver right now hung up on the outside. Eric Dalla Riva, the next to get to the inside. So Stoddy, if he can find an opening, there's a gap behind Dalla Riva, but Connor James pedaling as quick as he can. He's not going to get there. Josh Stoddy able to pull down in front of the number 4 Connor James, and we are single file turning in some laps here at Flamboro Speedway. It's a long race.
You just saw Dalla Riva and Stoddy in tow. Up front, it's a 2-car breakaway. Pritico and Steckley. You wonder just how hard Pritico's working that car, how hard Steckley is pushing to keep up. But again, we saw both those drivers go to victory lane here at Flamboro in the past. Steckley as recently as last year.
For sure. But I think Pritico's got to feel good with Kyle Steckley being behind him. He knows Kyle's a respectful young man, so he doesn't have to worry about getting jacked up. I'm real worried about the Blair Wicket 97. He's got the wheel cranked hard left getting into the turn.
Adam, I just want you guys to look at the left front of the Steckley machine. Has a different caster camber. Something is up in the left front. It's running very well, but it looks a lot different than the 21 or the 97.
The left front of Steckley that disappears into the wheel well when you go into the corner. I noticed that last week. I was standing with Connor watching the race. I said, look at that.
Yeah, we saw that at Sunset Speedway again. It looks like he might have hooked on something here. Took a peek to the inside of Pritico, not close enough to make a move, but Pritico coming up just off the bottom and opens that door for Steckley.
A couple of drivers getting racy. Dale Shaw trying to make a move on Sean Chenoweth, which nearly opened the door for J.R. Fitzpatrick. So that's the thing. You want to make moves, but you've got to be careful that making your move doesn't cost you track position. Chenoweth darn near stops in turn number 4, turned absolutely sideways.
Definitely contact between him and the 83, and looks like the 83 of Dale Shaw has cut down a right front.
Flat
that
right.
NTN Bearings car.
I'd be surprised if Chenoweth doesn't also have a flat left rear, but it looks to be holding air. Shaw went to the inside. Chenoweth again, he knows he's got all the racecraft you can have here at Flamboro, and he tried to pinch Dale down, even slow down to not let Dale accelerate. Like just a little bit of gamesmanship, but did not work out.
It looks like, though the tire isn't flat, I believe that rim's bent on Chenoweth's car.
Let's have a look at the replay as they're down through 3 and 4. See Chenoweth just check right up, unless something happened to the car. As that was going on. Clint?
Where is Shaw? Did he go to the pits?
Oh, yeah, flat right front. He went straight off to the pits.
It looks like Chenoweth's going 2, as well as the 48 of Baker. Pit road going to be a busy place here at Flamboro Speedway.
So for those of you scoring at home, if I'm Blair Wicket, I've already written the number 21 on my dashboard. That original start wasn't very cordial by Matt Pritico. Other than that, it's been pretty good racing. Obviously, Sean Chenoweth a little bit upset right now. And
Chenoweth opened that door right in the middle of 3 and 4, and Dale Shaw just stuffed it on in there. And you can see they're working on the left rear of Chenoweth's car.
They're working on the left rear, but they're jacking up the right side of the car.
It's odd combination. Well, you can
It
see
is.
you can see that rim looks bent. Andy Camrath down there working on that 89C.
That is a slow-moving jack.
He's about 60 pumps in. They got her up now. There you see Bob Chenoweth sorting the boys out.
So that's what sort of makes me wonder if there might have been some other problem there as we're going, no, we're not one to go yet, but we're doubling up the field to prepare for the restart. We've got one car coming back onto the racetrack. 48 of Dwayne Baker. When he pulled off, I kind of thought he was done. I thought maybe he was going to start and park. They've been struggling to keep that car running all day long. One to go.
Critico on the point. Steckley alongside him. Row 2 will be Blair Wickett. Jake Sheridan. Row 3, J.R. Fitzpatrick. And the 81 of Andrew Gressel. Then you're looking at Rick Spencer-Walt, Eric Della Riva, and Stoddy in the 17.
We're going to go with a quick fire it up so you can enjoy the sights and sounds of the APC United Racing Series when we go back to green. All that means is we shut up for a few laps and enjoy the racing. But we call it quick fire it up. It's been a fun feature, and it looks like Sean Chenoweth going to make it back as well. So we're pretty much back with the field we started.
And we'll see Chenoweth and Shaw. They'll get to reacquaint each other. The back of the pack.
Sean Gibbs, the flagman in the flag stand, says one to go before we let him loose off of turn number 4. Matt Pritico going to set the pace for this restart. He chooses to start on the inside, and this season we've seen drivers elect to start on the outside quite a bit here at Flamboro, Jamie.
Yeah, definitely. If you can keep that guy pinched down.
Quick, fire it up. Trouble in turns 1 and 2. By coincidence, it's Sean Chenoweth and Dale Shaw.
Did you see that one, Adam?
I did not see that one.
I had my eye on them, and it looked like Shaw kind of come across the nose of Chenoweth just a little bit. And Chenoweth was not going to give him a quarter there. And, did not back out. Slight contact. I don't anticipate much damage. But yeah, I'm sure there's some hand gestures happening over there now.
So I guess we know how Chenoweth felt about the first contact.
Well, it is a sport of give and take.
You know, guys, that would be the perfect gentleman payback, I guess, because they're both running tail. It's a good time to just show them, I didn't like that. And now we're both still tail again.
Chenoweth off to the pits.
Yeah, you're not wrong, Clinton. You don't want to do that for first and second and involve a whole lot of people that didn't really deserve to be involved. Assuming that's what happened. And with Sean Chenoweth pulling into the pits, I'm not sure if his day is done. Blair Wickett, that 97, that car just does not look comfortable to me. He tries to bring it up to speed and battle with Jake Sheridan there on that last restart. Looks like they're restacking the field.
If you saw the drone in the shot there, you know how he gets such good drone footage. That dude can get up on the controls.
Yeah, Abby's pretty amazing. He does an awesome job out there. He's standing right in front of us. Fancy piece of equipment, that drone. And
drone taking him on the high side.
he almost, you could see when we were at Sunset, he almost flew under the wing of Bill Zardo's number 46 in the Oscar Hot Rods race.
How about that? A second place finish for him up at Sunset.
Chenoweth ready to come back, guys, so he is not done.
Fabulous.
Chenoweth now back on the Speedway. And joining the field in the back, and Dale Shaw with the new acquaintances.
Down low, it's Matt Pritico in the 21, up high. And as we had talked about, if you trust the person on the inside of you, Jamie, the outside can be a great run here on a restart.
See if Steckley pinches Pritico. Trying to keep him pinned down on the bottom.
I think Steckley learned a valuable lesson at Sunset Speedway, and that was don't use your stuff up early because you're going to want it on lap 80, lap 90.
They were side by side for a number of laps at Sunset with Jake Shaw and had no tires left at the end. Green's in the air, Pritico on the bottom, Steckley up top. Wickett and Sheridan in row 2 off turn 2. They hustle down the backstretch, still side by side for the lead.
Steckley with a good run off of turn number 2. Pritico down the inside. Kyle Steckley going to lead the way there at the start-finish line.
Steckley trying to go to victory lane here at Flamboro for his second time in his APC career. 4 starts under the hood for that 22. This is start number 4, trying to get back to victory lane here at Flamboro. And how about Jake Sheridan now rolling on the bottom? He's going after Pritico as well.
Sheridan made a nice move there, getting a run to the inside and not wasting. And now Andrew Grezel down low, and he backs out of that just a little bit in the 81. Not something we see a ton of from Andrew Grezel, but it's a long race, and he's within striking distance of the leaders.
Right behind him, J.R. Fitzpatrick. And they are lined up, single file all the way back to about 14th spot, where you find Shea Gemmel side by side with James Horner. Oh, sorry, it's Matt Box side by side with the 3. See Rick Spencer Walt sitting 7th right now on a good run in that 31W, but out front, all Kyle Steckley. He's opened up about 10 car lengths over Jake Sheridan.
Jake Hemmel clears Matt Box, and Billy Schwarzenberg fills the hole in that number 86. They battle side by side. Box with a good run off of turn 2, but Schwarzenberg not letting him close the door. Schwarzenberg keeping that Spira number 86 in position. Now we will fall back in line. Directly behind Box is out in front. Kyle Steckley leads by almost a second, which is about 6 car lengths here at Flamboro Speedway.
See that Cameron Cranes number 52, Jake the Snake Sheridan. Sitting second, holding off Matt Pritico. That's the race from second, third on back. Sheridan has it. Pritico running third, fourth is Gressel, fifth, the 84 of J.R. Fitzpatrick. And now Fitzpatrick starting to put the heat on Andrew Gressel.
Further back, watching Dale Shaw. He and Sean Chenoweth have both passed a few cars towards the back of the pack. They are nose to tail down the backstretch with a few car lengths in between them. Now Dale Shaw approaching the 10 of Tom Gibbons.
There you see Sheridan sitting second, trying to hunt down Kyle Steckley. The question is, how much of that 22 is he using up right now? Steckley out of Milverton showing the way. Then it's the Mount Bridges driver, Jake Sheridan, in second.
You know, Kyle Steckley will have Scott Steckley on the radio talking to him and giving him all the information he can handle and giving him all the pointers he can give him. But right now, Kyle Steckley, he's not driving away, but he's got that little comfortable margin, that little gap behind him back to Jake Sheridan that he can kind of relax just a little bit and focus on hitting his marks. He doesn't have to pay attention to what's in his mirror.
And you talked about using those tires up at Sunset. We saw Jake Sheridan be guilty of that early in his career. Finally, he figured it out. That's what got him to victory lane last year at Sauble. So we'll see what the lessons the 52 has learned about tire maintenance. We know one guy that is good at saving that rubber is the 21 of Matt Pritico, who rides third right now. There's the Eric Della Riva going at it with Connor James in the 4.
Yeah, a few battles through the pack. Eric Della Riva, as you said, under attack from Connor James. Now Shea Gemmel to the inside of Ryan Kimball in 1 and 2.
Couldn't make it stick. That's just behind the Della Riva battle. And there you see Connor James trying to work over that 74 car. 28 laps in the books, the SDR seating machine. Coming under fire from the SSG gloves entry of Connor James.
Scott Wiley up from New York, working with the Connor James number 4 team this weekend, and Connor putting a little bit of bumper to Eric Della Riva in the 74. Not a lot, just enough to say, hey, it's time.
Now Connor's got the position. He'll get the inside lane. He'll mosey on by the 74 of Eric Della Riva. Now Della Riva coming under more fire. It's Danny Benedict now putting the challenge on him.
Some fast race cars behind Della Riva. Danny Benedict, Ryan Kimball, Shea Gemmel. So we've got little packs. We've got Kyle Steckley out in front by himself. Then the 4-car pack of Jake Sheridan in the 52, Matt Pritico in the 21. The 81 of Andrew Gressel, the 84 of J.R. Fitzpatrick. Then almost half a straightaway back is Blair Wickett in the 97, holding off the 31 of Rick Spencer Walton, the 17 of Josh Stoddy.
Well, good and bad for Wickett. You had mentioned how it looked like his car was really falling off. It fell off a bit, but not a whole lot. Still able to hold on to that 6th place position right now. But he's got his hands full with our Sunset winner of the opening round at Sunset Speedway, Rick Spencer Walton, that 31W, going to work on the 97.
And Blair gives plenty of room. Walt looked to the inside. Blair opened that door up down in 3 and 4. Walt took the opportunity. I believe Josh Stoddy will be able to get through there as well. Indeed, Stoddy looking to the inside through 2, and I thought he was going to drive it up the inside into 3, but he stays in line.
Sure, you see the Ridgeline folks down here in turn 1 go excited if the 17 of Stoddy can get through. He got into the back of Wickett there. 17 trying to get after it.
Ryan Kimball just drove Eric Della Riva right up into the wall. Della Riva had to spike the brakes in turn 4. So I'm going to watch this 74 for a lap or two, see if he's interested in retaliating on the 29 of Kimball as he closes in on the back bumper. Yes, he is. And he jacked up the 29 of Kimball in the middle of 1 and 2 and kept him jacked up all the way to the exit of turn 2, Clint. Sorry, Clint, I thought you cued your radio there. I heard a different noise. So Eric Della Riva makes his point, jacks up Ryan Kimball.
But it ended up costing him, though, because he had to lift. Matt Box hustled by. And now here comes 86 of Billy Schwarzenberg to his left. Now he's also got Gibbons lined up as well. So, Della Riva just hit the wall. Hard contact. He got up in the air a bit as both Shaw and Chenoweth get by as well. Della Riva's just got to reset right now.
Exactly, and then this Flamboro Speedway will do that to you. That you hit those walls, they're on a bit of an angle, and they'll spit you up in the air, which actually can be a big help because it doesn't suck you in and crash the car. It spits you up and gives you an opportunity to land back on the racetrack and carry on.
It's not too often we say hitting the concrete wall could be a great help, right? But I know what you mean here. It's not square, so it doesn't do quite as much damage. And we've got Schwarzenberg now going to work on Matt Box. That's back for 13th position.
Kyle Steckley has put a lap down. James Horner and Dwayne Baker. So the 79 and the 48 go a lap down to the leader. And just in front of Kyle Steckley is Jade Franklin.
You see Schwarzenberg still working to the inside of Matt Box down the backstretch. Great battle going on. These two now down into 3 and 4. Flamboro Speedway, the site of the only career victory in the APC Tour for Billy the Kid Schwarzenberg in that Spire Fire Protection high-grade roofing entry. And him and Matt Box are absolutely going at it, hammers and tongs in 3 and 4.
Yeah, he's got to try to get some track position on him. Box able to hold him down in the corner. Now that Schwarzenberg is nose to head, he can kind of run his line through the turn, and he'll clear the 27 of Box. Problem for Dwayne Baker as he is slow on the track. Looks like he's going to make it to pit road.
Well, and why this big scramble's going on between Schwarzenberger, Box, and Shaw and Chenoweth, as well as Della Riva, is the fact that look who's coming, the 22 of Steckley. Now, just a straightaway behind this battle.
You're not kidding. J.R. Fitzpatrick just dispensed of Matt Pritico in the 21, so moved Fitzpatrick up to the 4th spot, just ahead of him. The 81 of Andrew Gressel ahead of him, the 52 of Jake Sheridan, and then you've got half a straightaway up to Kyle Steckley in the 22, and you're not kidding. Kyle Steckley closing in on some good cars, not the least of which Dale Shaw and Sean Chenoweth, who had to go to the back after being involved in a couple of cautions earlier on.
First one he's going to have to deal with is Tom Gibbons in that Gibbons concrete finishing entry. He's about 10 car lengths back of Gibbons. As you see the 81 of Gressel able to get by the 52 of Jake Sheridan. Put Gressel up into second now. And here comes J.R. Fitzpatrick. Right now it looks like Steckley's got this one under control, but we are one caution flag away from a totally flip-flopped race. Steckley a healthy lead over Gressel, Sheridan, Fitzpatrick, and then Pritico rounding out the top 5.
And we are halfway through, 50 laps down, 50 laps to go as Connor James just picked up a spot on the Josh Stoddy number 17. So that SSG Gloves number 4 kind of coming to life out there. He's in the 8th position.
And the guy whose car is going away, I think, is that 52 of Jake Sheridan. He has got J.R. Fitzpatrick breathing down his neck in that Cambridge rigging entry. This is again the battle for third now. And I believe there's a little bit of contact there between the 84 and the 52. Fitzpatrick shoved him up the speedway just a bit. Now he's down to the inside. They're side by side down the front stretch. Great battle for third.
Jake Sheridan cleared the 84. Looked like J.R. Fitzpatrick was going to be able to make that move that he's been making all season long here at Flamboro Speedway. But Jake Sheridan was able to hold him off.
For the time being, Fitzpatrick's not going anywhere. He's going to take another run at him down into turn 1. Sheridan closes the door, and Fitzpatrick is right there on that 52. We got problems on the 97, Blair Wickett exiting stage right. So it looks like the problems have compounded for the 97.
Things started out well. The pace lap was excellent for Blair Wickett. He was lined up first. I still think that contact with Matt Pritico coming to the green flag might have damaged that race car, made it hard to drive.
Steckley now has a little breathing room back to Gressel. He's managed to put 3 cars in between him, and there's some decent ones. Matt Box, Della Riva, and Gibbons. Fitzpatrick still working that 52 of Sheridan. This battle's been going on for almost 10 laps now.
Sheridan got a little bit sideways there coming through turn number 4. He never lifted, but J.R. Fitzpatrick able to roll further ahead to his car, so now JR can kind of dictate the line they run in that corner. Big advantage to Fitzpatrick in the 84, but still, Jake Sheridan fighting back.
Well, Pritico hanging tight on the bumper of Fitzpatrick. You know he's going to want to try to get by in the bottom. Oh, and Sheridan closed the door on Fitzpatrick Sheridan closed the door on Pritico down into 3. Spencer Walt right there as well. Great 4-car battle, but I think Fitzpatrick's going to start to pull away from these 3.
J.R. Fitzpatrick just with so much speed in that Cambridge rigging number 84 this season. A beautiful look on that machine. And he sees out the windshield how far ahead Kyle Steckley is. He can't afford to wait. There may not be another caution, so he's got to try to close in some of that 1.6 second gap.
Well, it's not just Steckley. He's got to get to Gressel first, to sit in second. How about the Road Warrior? He had some great runs over the years at Flamboro, a couple wins here in a pro late model. He's also won super late races here at the 3rd mile and running second right now. And as you see, Pritico and Sheridan still getting after it for 4th.
Whoa, Rick Spencer Walt looked to the inside of Pritico. There wasn't much there to work with. He backed out of it. Further back, Shea Gemmel is having a look on the 17 of Josh Stoddy. But here goes Matt Pritico to the inside of Jake Sheridan once again.
Pritico to the bottom. Wasn't able to pull off the pass. He'll tuck back in line through 1 and 2. Down the backstretch they go. And we are running out of laps here. We're almost 2/3 of the way through this. 36 laps to go now. And I believe that 81 of Gressel is slowly chipping away at that lead of Steckley. Only 1 lap car between them.
And it's really going to depend when they hit lap traffic, how they hit that lap traffic. That's going to be a big determiner and how this race winds up this afternoon.
So far, fastest lap of the night in feature competition, J.R. Fitzpatrick a 15:032. Steckley had a 15:037. So those are probably your fastest two cars on the Speedway right now. Will they end up meeting up at the end? Only time will tell.
Connor James in that 4 machine has caught the battle between Jake Sheridan, Matt Pritico, and Rick Spencer-Walt, so now make it a 4-car battle for the 4th position.
James will work to the outside of Eric Della Riva, and again, I think Sheridan is holding this group up. Jake the Snake off turn 4, gets a little bit loose, and again, all he looks up and sees in the rear view mirror is that global warranty machine of Pritico. Rick Spencer-Walt and Connor James right there.
Well, I can guarantee you Dale Shaw is going to do everything he can to stay on the lead lap in that number 83, so he is going to fight hard with the 22 of Kyle Steckley. He pulls down to the inside of the racetrack as I say that and lays over and lets him go by.
How about Dale Shaw letting Steckley get by? And I'm not sure that something's not broken on that 83 car. It is, he's really struggling with it now. There's that shot of your 3rd place battle. Again, that 4-car scramble down the backstretch. You see Connor James poke out of the line, took a peek to the inside of Rick Spencer-Walt. Pritico now getting antsy as well.
Matt Box to the inside, but he slides up the racetrack in front of Jake Sheridan in that 52. Now Sheridan will take a look to the outside into 3. Matt Box backs it down, gives the lead lap cars plenty of room, but they've got to go single file for the time being.
And they clear Matt Box and let the games begin again with the 21 and the 52. Sheridan still holding 3rd. Pritico goes 4th. Spencer-Walt 5th. 6th is Connor James. Could be one of the best APC runs we've seen from that 4-car, Connor James. The Hamilton driver out of the SSG Gloves, number 4 out of the Taylor Holdaway Racing Stables, having a really solid run here tonight.
He is so right up on the back bumper of the 31 of Rick Spencer-Walt, the winner in the opening round. So our points leader coming into this race. Jake Sheridan tried to close the door on Matt Pritico down into turn 1. Pritico would have nothing of it. Got the nose down to the inside, but Sheridan just doing a masterful job of fending off drivers for a lot longer than they would like to be fended.
Well, this time he is in there and he sends Sheridan right up the Speedway. Will Rick Spencer-Walt be able to capitalize? He tried to. Some heavy contact down into 1.
Whoa, Spencer-Walt to the inside of Pritico, ran out of racing room, gathers it up. That allows Connor James to the outside of that 31W. They'll race side by side down the backstretch for 7th.
There's a little bit of contact between the 31W and the 4 of Connor James. They get single file now. James chomping at the bit and chewing on that left rear of Rick Spencer. Oh, he just turned him.
James
flat out turned him.
I'll tell you what, you jack up Rick Spencer-Walt, you get the Adam Ross Big Cojones of the Race Award. I would not mess with Rick Spencer-Walt.
You want to bet that the driver behind the controls of that 31W not happy. And I think it was a hand out the window first at either the 52 or the 21.
Yeah, it seemed like there was some displeasure with somebody else for Rick Spencer-Walt there. It's kind of a trickle-down effect sort of accident.
That might have been when they tried to go 3 wide off of turn 2 when Pritico did have Sheridan shoved up the one time.
Well, guys, they are slowing Connor James and waving everybody by, so I can only assume he has been given a penalty for the contacts.
He will go to the box for 2 minutes and he will feel shame.
I love that line. What a classic. Spencer, if you were able to cue that up again for us, please do. Rick Spencer-Walt just rolled around the 4 car as though he didn't have anything to signal to him. But here we see going down into the corner. Maybe it wasn't as egregious as it looked, but it was right in front of us, and it seemed egregious to me.
I'm with you.
Yeah, you know, and we call what we see, which isn't always reality, Clinton, but I think we have a proven track record of...
I think the angle just made it difficult for you guys to catch what was going on. It wasn't malicious by James. I think Spencer Walt just lifted a little bit more than he expected. It wasn't massive contact, just enough to get the 31 twisted around.
Big benefactor of this, Dale Shaw now back on the lead lap with the Lucky Dog. I'm not sure he's going to challenge for much today because the car is not quick, but at least back in a position where he can gain some spots here in the late going.
Tell you what happens after lap 70 or so when you get a yellow in one of these races. There is no give. It is all take. So on these restarts, this is where you can really see cautions breeding cautions in this series, because these drivers know it's not time to turn laps. It's not time to settle into a groove. It is time to pick up every spot you can.
3 fastest times of the race so far. Again, J.R. Fitzpatrick, Kyle Steckley, and Matt Pritico.
I like the way Andrew Gresel's car looks, that 81 machine. He was clicking off laps. There was nobody really pressuring him. He was trying to close in on Steckley, and they were swapping back and forth with lap times, sort of running similar times to each other. But that car looks like he can put it pretty much anywhere on the racetrack. And there, Rick Spencer Wald, I don't know if he just brake checked the 4 machine, but there's a bit of a gap between them and the cars in front of them.
And one of your picks, one of your picks earlier on tonight, I don't think we've really mentioned him a whole lot. How about up in the 6th spot, Shea Gemmell? He's quietly had a great run here this evening in that Canusa Miami Muscle sponsored number 3.
In fairness, I will say I picked Gemmell by accident because I was looking at the hood of Kyle Steckley's car, and it's
roll with it.
Yeah, I know, but
the softball there.
It's like bad juju. Can't have any of that.
But a good job by Shea Gemmell now, again, up into 6th spot. Josh Stoddy goes 7th. Danny Benedict 8th. 9th is Schwarzenberg. Sorry, 9th and 29 of Kimball. Then 10th is Schwarzenberg. You would have Gibbons in 11th at that point.
Yeah, Gibbons 11th. No, Gibbons is 15th.
Okay, so Gibbons is a lap down. So 11th has got to be Rick Spencer Walt then.
It looks like to me 11th is Ryan Kimball in the 29. What are you looking at?
Well, they still got Spencer Walt, Connor James in the scoring summary.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, don't listen to me. I've been drinking heavily since noon.
I know you're not your strong suit, but every number after those two guys, take away 2.
Oh, man. I was told there would be no math.
I'll loan you some fingers.
Blair Wickett comes back onto the racetrack. The hood's been removed from the 97 machine. Wickett many laps down. Now, here, I can handle this. 54 laps complete out of 76. He is 22 laps behind the leaders.
Shoes stayed on.
Yeah, I nailed it. Kyle Steckley going to restart on the inside of Andrew Gressel in the 81. J.R. Fitzpatrick ultra aggressive in that 84, but I'm going to say it, there is not a mark on that race car still, nor is there a mark on the Kyle Steckley number 22. They've driven an excellent race. Same with the 81 of Andrew Gressel. And you've got some war-torn machines, and some of it would be from tonight. Some of it would have been last night at Delaware or previous weeks. For the 52, Jake Sheridan, the 21, Matt Pritico, they're showing signs of battle. But great racing so far tonight here at Flamboro. We're going to go green next time out of turn number 4. There'll be 24 laps remaining.
Battle I am looking forward to see. Can Steckley get away? And if he can, what's going to happen between Gressel and Fitzpatrick? Green in the air. We're back racing. Just a handful of laps to go. Gressel right up underneath Steckley's car. He dove to the bottom, got into the back of the 22.
Make no mistake, that was a calculated move by Andrew Gressel to cross over, get to the lane he wanted, and then at the same time put enough pressure on Steckley, give him a couple of bumps, see if he can rattle the cage of the young man from Milverton, Ontario.
Contact J.R. Fitzpatrick and Sheridan. They just bumped going down the backstretch. Great battle for third. And while they're doing this, the leaders are walking away. So these two got to get this sorted out if it stays green. Now Fitzpatrick wags the tail right up into Sheridan. Now Sheridan contact with Pritico.
Sheridan wanted to get back in line, something fierce, and he did it whether Pritico liked it or not. Here goes Rick Spencer-Walt to the outside of Connor James as James drives to the inside of Matt Box. There's action everywhere on the racetrack right now as Pritico to the inside of Jake Sheridan. Shea Gemmel going to follow him through that hole.
How about Shea Gemmel from deep in the field all the way to fourth now as he bypasses Jake Sheridan. And one of our early favorites out front, he is getting bypassed by everybody. Stoddy gets by Sheridan. Here comes Danny Benedict as well.
Meanwhile, at the front of the pack, Kyle Steckley continues to lead the way, but Andrew Grezel is right behind him, and Grezel is running an attack line where Steckley is taking a real smooth arc into the corner. Grezel is firing straight down into the turn, and he basically gets all the way to the left rear corner of the Steckley 22, right in the center of the corner. So Steckley bobbles a bit. There's going to be some contact.
That Steckley car real strong coming off the corners. That's where he's been able to do most of his damage here tonight. He's keeping the 81 of Gressel at bay, and it's about 4 car lengths back to J.R. Fitzpatrick.
Shea Gemmel putting the pressure on Matt Pritico. He'll look to the inside, down the back straightaway into turn number 3. Pritico closes the door. You can see the fireball out the exhaust of Shea Gemmel as he stays off the throttle a little bit longer than I'm sure he would have liked.
This is the race for fourth now. Pritico has it, but Gemmel could be one of the fastest cars on the track. He came from deep in the field. Pritico, he gets him jacked up now to the inside. Comes Gemmel. We'll see what happens down into 1.
There's a gentle bump by Shea Gemmel on Matt Pritico, and it opened the door wide for Josh Stoddy to come through. Andrew Grezel right up on the back bumper of the Steckley number 22 as J.R. Fitzpatrick is closing. We will have a 3-car battle for the lead. There's 14 laps to go.
Down into 3 and 4 they work. Steckley still your leader. Now Grezel tucked up right underneath the spoiler. Now that can use the APC sponsored entry of Kyle Steckley. It's Steckley, Gressel, and here comes Fitzpatrick.
Contact by Grezel, just a gentle nudge on Steckley's left rear corner, loosens up the youngster, and Andrew Grezel goes around. Whoa, tries to clear the 22 of Steckley. Steckley kept his nose there. That could have been bad.
He had Grezel all sideways as Grezel tried to clear himself when he wasn't clear on the straightaway. 12 to go at the line, and it's been a long time since Andrew Gressel's found victory lane. Going to go all the way back to 2017, I believe, and we got one around. Jake Sheridan on the backstretch.
We do go back to the last completed lap, but I believe that was still Andrew Grezel out in front.
Well, Adam, Jake Sheridan had been fading back through the field. You got to think something was wrong with the car. Not quite as quick as it was in the early going. Possibly a left rear. I think he's got a left rear flat, guys.
Yeah.
It looks soft to
the
me.
car is definitely laying over towards that side.
It's only flat in the bottom.
So he'll head off to the attention of his brother Nick, his father Ron, and the rest of the crew back there. But I'll tell you, Andrew Grezel, you can see the right rear quarter panel of that car took the S right off of Sabo Falls as he tried to clear the 22 of Kyle Steckley, and Steckley just kept his car right where it belonged. You stay on the throttle, hold your wheel straight.
Well, Jamie, how close was that coming right at you guys? They definitely got crossed up. If Grezel wasn't the veteran he is, he might be in the turn 1 wall right now.
He's lucky he isn't right now. He cleared himself on the straightaway, and he wasn't clear.
J.R. Fitzpatrick just sitting there in the 3rd spot. Gresel's got a lot of speed. Kyle Steckley has been the leader this whole race, but I think Grezel was a little bit quicker as these laps wore down. But I think Fitzpatrick and Gemmel are faster than possibly both cars ahead of them.
These are the situations that I like to see, Adam, late in a race with a young kid like Kyle Steckley. What's he going to take from other guys? We know that you run Andrew Grezel at a racetrack, you put him in the wall, you're going to be getting it back at some time. J.R. Fitzpatrick showing that as well. The question is, what does Steckley do here? He was raced pretty rough by Gressel. Does he respond like that or not?
I don't know how rough. It was aggressive, and it probably got on the nerves of Kyle Steckley. But I would imagine the people talking to Kyle on the radio right now are not getting him wound up. I think they're probably doing the opposite. Calm it down. You've got a race to run here. You've got a good position. You're in the second spot. Let's see what we can get. So I don't think they would be talking about how to seek that revenge, but I could be totally wrong.
Again, does he owe him one? Does he owe him, even if this is a small one?
Well, I think definitely it's on your mind that, hey, I can give him a bump. And Gressel didn't bump him that hard. It was a nice bump and run. It was the clearing on the front straightaway when he wasn't actually clear that I think he would have taken exception to.
Looks like Sheridan's got that tire fixed on that Pride Seed Cameron Cranes number 52. This is going to be good.
I'm sure timing and scoring are taking a second and third look at how things are, how it should be out there. Towards the end of this race, you don't want to make any mistakes that can cost someone a good finish.
How about Shea Gemmel up into fourth? He's not out of it by any stretch of the imagination.
We're running out of cars that haven't really made significant contact. In my opinion, we're down to Fitzpatrick, Gemmel, Josh Dottie. Josh Dottie's drove in a beautiful race in that Ridgeline 17. I mean, they should be proud about how that driver has handled himself today, taking the opportunities that were presented to him. We're going to go back to green flag racing, 12 laps to go here at Flamboro Speedway.
Out of four they come. Flag in the hands of Sean Gibbs. He will turn them loose. It's Gressel down into one on the jump. Steckley alongside him. Fitzpatrick's going to be the one who rolls on the bottom, and they've got Steckley caught in the high side. He could be in some trouble here.
Like the veteran he is, as soon as Gressel knew he had the clear path to turn number one, he drove up the bank and gave Kyle Steckley nowhere to go. If there's one thing that he won't like about it, it gave J.R. Fitzpatrick a clear run into that second spot and 11 laps to try to chase him down.
Steckley's hopping in the line in fourth, right behind Shea Gemmel. A couple of APC-sponsored entries, working in third and fourth right now. Just a couple car lengths behind this battle for the lead. Gressel has it. Fitzpatrick, as we come to 9 to go here, wants to see what he can do to win his home track.
Contact between 3 and 4. Rick Spencer-Walt gets into Connor James, who got into Billy Schwarzenberg. 3 was definitely a crowd there. Connor James. And I don't know where Connor James went, but he's closing in on the 31. Now he's going to pull up alongside Rick Spencer-Walt. Now, Scott Wiley is the crew chief on Connor James. Scott Wiley is one of the toughest hombres in Western New York. I mean, the fighting was as important as the racing to the late Rick Wiley and to Scott Wiley. But I still think you want to be careful what battles you choose.
Rick Spencer-Walt is a big dude.
That man's hands are larger than life. He came walking up to us in the pits. I love Rick Spencer-Walt. I love Scott Wiley. I really enjoy being around all these people. You just know from what you watch. Rick comes up and he's got this great big, would that be a Fu Manchu mustache?
Yep.
He's rocking.
Sporting the Fu.
He walks right up, puts his hand on my shoulder. I'm like, well, what did I do?
I saw the look on your face. You thought you did something wrong.
And we're friendly. Like, we've been friendly forever. He says, I really want to thank you guys for having me on your show, too. It's like, God's sakes, Rick, at least smile when you're going to walk up and do that.
Well, you're a solid 6'4", Adam, and he's a dude you look up to, so just for some comparison.
Yeah. And like I say, great guy. There's just, you have to know what buttons you can push. And who you can, you don't want to be a bully, but who you can mess with and who you can't. I would put him on my list of people that I would not mess with.
Rick Spencer-Walt in that 31W, and again, not being a frequenter to Sunset Speedway, I didn't get a lot of chances to watch Rick Spencer-Walt. One thing that he does, though, and this is the future of our sport, he is so active in the kids' late model program up there. Always posting about it on Facebook, and always good to see those future racers with some mentors like the 31W of Spencer Walt.
I almost feel badly for the way I'm talking about him, because he is just such a nice guy, a great ambassador for the sport, a great role model on how you should drive a race car, how you should approach the sport.
Well, I was able to see him, race a couple times in Sauble and race a couple times in Sunset, and, races everybody pretty clean. And he's definitely talented. He's still got some spots to make up here and some time to do it.
Well, they're working on the race order, trying to determine what they want to do. What kind of a look did we get of that? I don't know if I was watching it out the window or if I was watching it on the screen. I think it was out the window, because we called the shots here, Jamie, from turn number 1. I don't know about you, but I love this vantage point to be able to call a race from.
There's something to be said for sitting at the end of a racetrack. I know the couple times I've went to Dover, I found it nice to sit at the end of the racetrack. You don't have to turn your head too far to the left and right. That's a lot of work, man. I got a big head.
I used to do that at Ashwegan when we do the Sprint Car Nationals. I'd be off at turn number 3 about 300 feet, because otherwise I get a sore neck. It's like watching tennis at ludicrous speed.
It's a little different order for the restart this time. We now see Kyle Steckley all the way back in 4th spot.
And J.R. Fitzpatrick, there's a donut on the 84, all right. Everybody out there, I see one on the 3 of Shea Gemmel as well, so nobody's got clean hands in this one. Everyone's dipped into the aggression, which you expect here at Flamboro Speedway. The field is doubling up. And how about Andrew Gressel in the 81 and J.R. Fitzpatrick in the 84? I've known both of them since they were kids, but I think it is fair to call them some of the elder statesmen of late model racing in Ontario.
When we had media day and J.R. Fitzpatrick said he was 35 years old, I went, oh my God, where did the time go? Remember him as a kid in braces racing junior late models.
Absolutely. Gressel down low in the 81. J.R. Fitzpatrick up high. There is 10 laps to go.
Into one they work. Matt Pritico is going to be the one that really tucks out of line. He tried to take a stab at flying Ryan Kimball. Going to beat on the back bumper. Meanwhile, they're side by side up front. Hey, J.R. Fitzpatrick not backing down to the Road Warrior.
No, remember it. Oh, trouble. Ryan Kimball going around in turn number 3. On the last restart, Gressel got a good enough jump that when he got down into 1 and 2, he could assert himself. He could run way up the racetrack, take the line lead all by himself. J.R. Fitzpatrick kept it close enough that Gressel tried to run him up, but Fitzpatrick had position with his nose that he was able to get on the throttle and had enough room down the straightaway to keep him a little bit more honest. Let's take a real quick break here on G-Force TV, and we'll be back with the final 10 laps of the London Recreational Racing 100.
I've always had the spirit that I wanted to invent something new, and so when we got into clothing, I got immersed into it, and the only way that you really understand how to build clothing is to become a pattern maker. That pattern maker concept started becoming very interesting to me because I went, I can make this better. Love it. Absolutely love designing. Doesn't matter whether it's a garment or an engine or a car, decals on our race cars. I love doing it. That's my forte.
Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to our weekly race chat.
Adam Ross and Clinton Jeffrey are live and interactive every Tuesday night. Rivals Race Chat is your home for race discussion, debate, news, interviews, and more. They'll even take your questions and comments live on the air and talk to some of the newsmakers each week. Tune in every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. on G-Force TV.
Early man discovered fire. but Quick perfected fire. Quick is the only fire starter that guarantees to start your campfire, wood stove, or fireplace without the need for kindling or paper. Find your nearest Quick retailer at quickwick.com.
Welcome back to Flamboro Speedway, getting ready for another restart here in the London Recreational Racing 100. It'll be 10 laps to go, and Sean Gibbs says next time by at turn number 4, boys, it's time to go racing.
J.R. Fitzpatrick, great job last restart, keeping Andrew Gressel pinned on the bottom so he could hang tough on the outside and stay side by side. See what he can do again. And the restart games between these two veterans already being played into turn 3.
And they started laps ago. These two know what they're doing. Fitzpatrick rolling the high side, bit of an advantage.
JR's going to poke a nose out down into 1 and 2. And Gressel ran him really high through 1 and 2.
Fitzpatrick with a better run down the back straightaway. He'll nose ahead in 3 and 4. The whole field still side by side from front to back. J.R. Fitzpatrick is your race leader.
Fitzpatrick posts that nose out front. Gressel still right there. He's at the numbers down the backstretch. Contact between Gressel and Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick still high. Gressel on the inside. Down to the stripe. 8 to go at the line.
J.R. Fitzpatrick keeps putting his left rear in a vulnerable spot as Jake Sheridan goes around in turn 1. James Horner goes around as well, and that's going to bring a yellow flag out on the racetrack.
And I believe J.R. Fitzpatrick's your new leader.
Guys, what do you make all the smoke out of the 52? Is that just tire smoke from standing on the gas? It looks like it was.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was, Clint.
Almost looked like when I glanced over there like he blew the motor, but no, it's just a lot of tire smoke from trying to get it rolling.
James Horner, I don't think Horner hit anything in the 79, just spun to avoid there. But man, oh man, J.R. Fitzpatrick on the outside, there was not a lot of room to negotiate. He was sideways down the backstretch because Andrew Gressel had got him right in the driver's door to get him a little bit squirrely there. But fantastic short track racing.
It's funny, Jake Sheridan lit the tires up leaving. I mean, there's a lot of crew chiefs in today's day and age who would just cringe at that right now. Obviously, a tire shortage going on in short track racing. I know last Friday night, Jay Dewar was our super stock winner at Delaware, and his spotter said he's going to burn him down. He says, we got 8 for the year. I ain't burning nothing.
Nope. Could always do the Ryan Blaney. Donuts are for kids. Drive it to victory lane. But if you're 92 laps into this race, you're running the tires that you used in qualifying, so you've got about 100 laps on these tires. They don't owe you a whole bunch at this point.
No, you've already been angry at them.
Tom Gibbons. You can still see the American Racer on the side of that car. You know what I said? Everyone's got some blood on their hands. But Tom Gibbons in that number 10, he went a lap down, so he's been in the battle, but he looks good out there. That car's still looking pristine.
Great field of late models here, getting set for its final run to the checkers. How about J.R. Fitzpatrick getting it done the long way around? Very impressive by the driver of that Cambridge rigging number 84.
And I'm gonna jump out on a limb here. I think this restart is going to get ugly, and I think it's going to get ugly because I don't think Andrew Gressel has anywhere to go from the outside here. I don't know that he has a car that he can contend with on the outside.
Well, and you're looking, Kyle Steckley's restarting third. The dive to the bottom move, Steckley saw that a couple restarts ago. So we'll see what Kyle Steckley learned.
Now, Gressel has a lot of tricks up his sleeve. He's been around this sport a long time. He knows what to do. But I think things are about to get exciting.
Fitzpatrick, Gressel, Steckley in third. Gamble sits fourth. And again, Shea Gamble coming from deep in the field, the 2021 Flamboro Triple Crown Series winner. Josh Stoddy sits fifth. Benedict from deep in the field up to sixth. And look at that, Dale Shaw was a lap down, now back up into eighth.
You know, you talked about championships being won by one single point. This could be a big moment for Dale Shaw as we're about to go green. Gressel creeping up the outside. Fitzpatrick gets on the loud pedal. We're back underway.
They beat and bang down into one, a little bit of contact. Gressel tried to hang tough on the outside. He is able to get in line in second. Now Gemmel's going to go to work on him for second. Well, Fitzpatrick squirts out front.
Gemmel under attack by Kyle Steckley as well. The top two pull away. Connor James getting...
Him and Walt got together again.
Yes, they did. I got to tell you, I am very impressed with the caliber of driving by everyone able to avoid these mishaps.
I saw 4 cars getting piled up right there.
Well, Connor James just come over to Rick Walt to show his displeasure, and there was a lot of hand gestures going on, guys.
I think at this point, you don't need the hand gestures anymore. You know what's going on. You know the score.
Well, keep your eye on them. It might be interesting under yellow.
Oh, absolutely.
Connor James with a little tap to the back bumper. Rick Spencer Walt. By the time the camera got it, there was cars already spinning everywhere.
Trevor Hambley, the race director for the APC series. Alex Nagy up there in the tower. Pete Gutler and Nathan Christensen doing the scoring. I've been up there with them in many, many, many races where they have to get assertive on the radio, talk to the drivers, tell them what they're looking at, and tell them what they're about to stop doing. So if anyone can keep them in line, it's Trevor Hambley on the one-way talking to the spotters.
And Adam, you and I get to spend a little bit of time at some towers in race control, and there's a lot of people said I'd never want the announcer's job. I don't want the scorer and race director's job.
Exactly. It's a tough gig. They don't like it when we're in the room with them because our job is to be excited. Their job is to stay calm. It's like putting an ice cube in a pot of boiling water.
Well, it's also an interesting dynamic when we're right beside them pointing out all the mistakes they make in a night, too. It doesn't win us much favor up there.
No, you're not wrong, but if we don't point things out that we see, right or wrong, Clinton, and I think that's what makes us fun, is we're not afraid to point things out and have opinions. I've seen a lot of races in my years, so I like calling what I see.
Rick Spencer Walt, who was the point leader coming in tonight, this point lead is going to take a hit. Just kind of looking at where everybody's running. J.R. Fitzpatrick came in tonight 4th in points, leading the race right now. Shea Gemmel came in 2nd in points. He sits 4th. Andrew Gressel came in 7th in points. Dale Shaw 6th in points. Gressel obviously 2nd. Dale Shaw up to about 7th or 8th spot. So there's going to be a log jam at the top of the standings when this one's all done.
And the longer we go and the more yellows we get, the more cars get put back on the lead lap. So unofficially right now, there's 13 cars on the lead lap with Billy Schwarzenberg being the last of them. I believe we're going to see Ryan Kimball get his lap back, but I'm not positive.
I believe there's no lucky dog in the last 10 laps, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, is Ryan Kimball even on the racetrack?
Not see a Kimball. They got their program turned around a bit today. We saw a little bit of speed out of 29. They really struggled with both cars at Sunset Speedway.
Yeah, he looked good out there. He was well up into the top 10 at one point. It looked like he was moving in the right direction at the right point of the race, and then he was not. But this sport will do that to you. The top 5 really hasn't changed. Top 5 or 6. Josh Stoddy in row number 3 alongside Danny Benedict. Danny Benedict has had a quiet, solid day out there in that 54.
Matt Pritica, who led a lot of the early going, or led some of the early going, took the lead right off the bat. He's still sitting 7th, right behind Josh Stoddy on that inside line.
So Andrew Gressel timed his start well last time, rolling around the outside of Fitzpatrick. He's going to do it again. A good, even start at the front of this field.
Gressel gets a good jump on the outside. Fitzpatrick's still there on the bottom. They're racked, stacked, and packed down the backstretch. Still double wide. Shea Gemmel quickly climbs into the line in 4th, but all eyes on that battle out front. And Fitzpatrick's going to seal the deal down into 1.
Andrew Gressel up on the high side. Kyle Steckley able to go to the inside, take over that 2nd spot. Shea Gemmel going to try to follow him through, but he'll tuck back in line. 7 laps to go.
Gressel might have saved the race for himself there, getting in line in third spot right in front of Shea Gemmel. Dorchester driver right up underneath the spoiler of that 81. Out front, though, it's the Cambridge rigging entry, J.R. Fitzpatrick, and he is walking away now with 6 to go at the line.
I'm going to direct my attention towards the back of the field. You've got Connor James on the inside of somebody back there just behind Rick Spencer-Walt. He's on the inside of Jade Franklin trying to close in on the 31 of Rick Spencer-Walt. He has arrived at the back bumper of that 31 machine. He'll follow him by the 74 of Eric Della Riva.
All eyes watching that as well as up front. Gressel's the one coming under fire now from Shea Gemmel in the 3. And Spencer-Walt able to get by the 4 of Connor James, or get away from Connor James. 4 to go at the line. Off turn 2 and down the backstretch. It's J.R. Fitzpatrick in control of this one. The scramble is on for third.
Gemmel pouring the pressure onto Andrew Gressel in that number 81. He is definitely rolling the center of the turns better than the 81 machine, just not able to get the power down to take advantage. Josh Stoddy right on the back bumper of that 3 machine.
That time the back end stepped out just a bit on Gemmel off turn 2, allowed Stoddy to close in. Stoddy is right there. Will he be able to make a challenge? They're going to come to the white flag this time by lap and a half to go. Fitzpatrick into 3 and 4. And still watching that Gressel Gemmel battle for third. Gemmel's going to find the opening, tries to take it on the bottom, white flag in the air.
Down through 1 and 2, the battle is on for third. J.R. Fitzpatrick and almost coast to the finish. Shea Gemmel looking to make a move on the 81, but it's J.R. Fitzpatrick who's going to win the LRR 100 here at Flamboro. Kyle Steckley second, Andrew Gressel third, then Shea Gemmel and Josh Stoddy.
Matt Pritico will come home 6th. Looking for some extracurricular activities there between the 31 and the 4 as they exit together. Crowd has gathered in the pit area.
What a show here at Flamboro Speedway. J.R. Fitzpatrick with a well-deserved victory. He worked for that one, ladies and gentlemen.
Crew out celebrating. He dropped the checkered flag on the backstretch. There's Rick Spencer-Walt taking the gear off.
And he'll walk up towards the trailer. Tough day for Spencer-Walt, but if you're going to win this APC Series Championship, you're going to have to endure days like that. You're going to have to battle the highs and lows. And if this was a bad night, it didn't turn out all that bad. Rick Spencer-Walt with a 12th place finish, so it's not the end of the world. Clinton Jeffrey, take it away down there in Victory Lane.
Thanks, Adam and J.R. Fitzpatrick and happy crew down here in Quick Wick. Fire starter Victory Lane. High fives all around. For the Cambridge rigging crew, we will get J.R. out here in just a moment's time. We'll also talk to Kyle Steckley and Andrew Gressel. I want to thank everybody for coming out today. Hopefully you enjoyed the Quick Wick Superstock Series and the APC late models here tonight, along with the Quick Wick TQ Midgets. What a great show. J.R. Fitzpatrick going to jump out and have a quick word with us, still working to get his gear off here. And you're going to see a very happy J.R. Fitzpatrick come out of the car and come on around and give us some good info here. Got a lot of stuff to get off, get the belts off, get the earphones out, take the helmet off, Hans' device. Here he comes, ladies and gentlemen. How about it for a big Quick Wick Victory Lane? Flamboro, welcome for J.R. Fitzpatrick. J.R., come on around and talk to us. Hugs all around for the crew and family here as we get ready to go. I see a smile today, JR. That's a good sign. How cool is it to be here winning race number 2 in the APC Late Model Series at a place that's pretty much your home track.
Yeah, I got a lot of laps here. Excuse me. Man, what a race with the 81. That was some good racing. We bumped and banged a little bit, and I always enjoy racing with him. He's a hell of a racer, and I honestly didn't think we had the best car at the beginning there, but for some reason, those last, when I got in second, the car just came to life, and man, it hauled ass on the top, and I hope you fans enjoyed it. I'm out of breath because that's not easy passing on the top, especially on Andrew Gressel. So I got to thank my whole team. We worked so hard on this car. Everybody at McCall Enterprises for making this thing a rocket ship. Dave Wood from Meineke Car Care, Cambridge and Kitchener. We got Cambridge Rigging, ATVdepot.ca. I got H2O Mobile Wash, Transaxle Heavy Duty Truck and Trailer, and then everybody that's on this car, and my whole team, man. This is awesome.
After the season you had last year, this has got to be fairly rewarding.
Definitely. Sunset, we were top 2 car in a long run, and then we had a tire pressure problem. We finished 4th, but now we have a win, and that was just awesome race. I'm just pumped. Even if I finished 2nd, I would be still pretty happy because that was just a wicked race.
Awesome work, JR. He gets it done. We will get over here and talk to Kyle Steckley. Kyle Steckley, second place finisher over here today. Kyle, you know, you led a lot of that race. You're still a newcomer, only your 4th race. You finish at the front. Is this something you can be really happy with? It should be a good finish, although I'm sure a bit disappointing because you had a shot at it.
Yeah, for sure. A bit disappointing, but, you know, still finished second. The car was really, really fast off the hop, and it just tightened up a little bit. I was trying to save, but just lost a little bit there at the end and had some really, really hard racing at the end. And congrats to JR. He's a great guy, and going to go back to work on our APC auto parts, Canuce and warehousing, Chevrolet, and see if we can make it faster for Peterborough.
All right, Kyle, good job today.
Thank you.
Kyle Steckley, second. We'll get over here and talk to Andrew Gressel. Andrew Gressel, solid run here, too, for you, Andrew. You know, you were in this battle. You got to be a bit happy with that. You know, you were up front. Not the finish you probably wanted, but you're still here on the podium talking to us for the right reasons tonight.
Yeah, I think, you know, we definitely had a good car. I think we it was a tough race there near the end. JR was good. We were good. Obviously, Stuckley was pretty good. So it was too bad. I think we should have came home with a win there, but he muscled me pretty good on the outside. Got roughed up a bit. The car wasn't steering too well after that. So, yeah, you know, it's just too bad. I got to thank everybody, though. I got to thank the whole crew, all our sponsors, Solid Falls Tent Trailer Park, Canadian Union of Skilled Workers. We've got High Grade Roofing, El Grande, Stewart's Equipment. I think I pretty much Gallinger Realty. Big thanks to Dave Gallinger. Just thanks to everybody. It was a good race, but, yeah, like I said, would have been nice to bring home the win.
He's third here tonight. Andrew Gressel will pick up that spot. Kyle Steckley will be second. And how about it for your winner here tonight? J.R. Fitzpatrick gets it done, guys. Up to you for the finishing order.
Let's take a look. Jamie Maudsley. Of course, we know the top 3. Shea Gemmel coming home 4th. Josh Stoddy in 5th.
Matt Perdico finishes 6th in his 21 machine. The 7th place run. Good run for Tom Gibbons. 8th, Danny Benedict. 9th, Billy Schwarzenberg. And coming home in the top 10, Dale Shaw.
11th and 15th. Jake Sheridan was 11th. Rick Spencer-Walt 12th. Connor James 13th. Matt Box 14th. And Sean Chenoweth 15th.
Eric Delariva wound up 16th. Jake Franklin came home 17th. James Horner was scored in 18th. Ryan Kimball finished 19th.
Blair Wickett was 20th. And Dwayne Baker was 21st. That's teamwork. Race fans, thank you so much for joining us here today at Flamboro Speedway. It was a blast. I hope you enjoyed the racing as much as we enjoyed bringing it to you. For those watching at home or wherever you are on G-Force TV, we thank you for tuning in as well. So on behalf of Jamie Maudsley, Clinton Jeffrey, and Kevin Small, the new voice of Flamboro Speedway, I'm Adam Ross saying so long. Thanks for joining us here on G-Force TV. We'll see you again with the APC series in 2 weeks at Peterborough Speedway.
Copyrighted broadcast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or used in any form without the authorized written consent of G-Force TV. Force TV would like to thank you for your support and for watching today's broadcast.